thing for certain. This has been an odyssey I won't forget.
Welcome everybody back to the Podyssey, or Podyssey, episode 56. We are back again to talk Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. We're going to get into the spoilers today. We're going to be delving deep, and things are going to get spicy. Now, we haven't just got a normal episode today. We actually have a very special guest with us, and that is Ethan, aka Fishy. And honestly, this intro is not as good as the first one, but we're just going to go with it. I didn't record the first time, and I fucked it up. But we're here. We're here. You guys watching get the point. Yeah, you guys get the point. So before we get into all of that stuff, I'm going to ask you guys, how are we doing today? We're going to have a nice little conversation, and then we're going to get into Black Flag Resynced. Go for it.
Can I just say firstly that you managed to do that intro in half the amount of time as the first take?
Oh, did I? Oh, okay.
That was some efficient work there. That was good stuff.
That was more pressure.
Streamlined process.
Yeah. I feel like I don't think it was as good, but you know, it got the point across, right?
At least that one was recorded, you know.
There you go.
I think that's the main thing. It would have been really funny if Lewis said, "Oh shit, I forgot now."
I should have done that.
You should have. Oh shit, I forgot. No, it's fine.
Oh, hang on, guys. I thought I pressed record, but I actually was recording the first time, and I've stopped.
Oh yeah, that would be brilliant.
That would have been the greatest calamity. But I do have to double check that you aren't pranking us.
No, we're all good. We're all good. We're here.
We're all good. Excellent.
Nice. We've done the bare necessities there to start the episode.
Yeah, precisely.
Now, I think before I said that I messed it all up, Ethan, you were saying something like you're working on something.
Yeah, I am working on a resynced video.
Okay.
It is happening. I'm just trying to find a way to not come across as an asshole, and that's the hardest bit, because I do like Resynced. I've enjoyed playing it. I've sunk about 50 hours into it, but at the same time, everything I like about it is that it's Black Flag. Yeah, you know, and I'm trying to communicate that there's so much about it that's been added on, tacked on, and stuff like that is just rampant Ubisoft inexplicability, and I'm struggling to come up with ways to explore that in a way that doesn't make me look like, you know, me. So that's the problem.
It is tricky because on the one hand, everything from the original game that's been remastered is great. It
sets a high ceiling, doesn't it? It's like, you know, it's like, okay. There's also a very far way to fall. The best way I can put it is Black Flag was too good for Ubisoft to fuck it up, but believe me when I say they tried.
Yeah. You know, I can see the direction this episode's going in, I think.
It's all right. I've got some nuanced opinions too. I love the Red Bull sales.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You have to go out of your way for them, so I can't criticize them. They're just funny. The Red Bull sponsored piracy. Here we go. You know.
See,
Red Bull sponsored whaling.
I think the issue is when talking about, for example, the new content. It's like this is from my perspective, so feel free to disagree. But I feel like there's so much bad in the new content that when you feel like you have to talk about it, it just makes it sound like you hate the game, which I kind of understand.
It can eclipse any positive.
Yes.
Because if you look at what you can say positively about Black Flag Resynced, the visuals look nice. What creator hasn't already got a video talking about that? The combat is slightly better. You know, there are only so many things I can do about that. The naval is almost exactly the same. How much can I actually talk about the stuff that I like about it because it's just Black Flag?
You already talked about that,
Yeah, I've just summed it up. Look, if you like Black Flag, you will like Resynced. Just prepare, you know. It gets so much when you get beyond all of the things that are just carried over or indeed improved off of things. The gameplay, how it plays, all of that. You have to eventually fixate on the stuff that Ubisoft has changed, and that's where the modern Ubisoft comes in. You know.
Yeah. So
do you think if they hadn't added anything and it was just like a really good remaster on the new engine, Do you think that would have been better or worse than these experiments that they've tried to throw in there?
Would have been more or less the same, you know. Like, I try not to hold the resynced editions against the fact that I've enjoyed myself, but at the same time, I have a very hard time separating those two things, or indeed communicating that I actually kind of like the general idea. I quite like the visuals and the gameplay improvements where they have been improved, and I also quite like certain ideas that have been added. I just don't like how, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because Ubisoft's problem is not that they can't do things. It's not that they don't want to do things. It's that they have an inflated idea of how good those things are, just by virtue of longevity. That they assume you will like it because it's Assassin's Creed and more of it, therefore good.
Well, that's the thing, though. I don't. They think what they've done is more of it, but it's completely different. It doesn't even fit in, you know, in from my perspective. And to go back to your question, Lewis, I think, what was it like if you played if it was the same, like it was just the same game,
if it was
but
just a remaster instead of like if there was no new content.
So you mean it was still resynced, like the way it looks, but it's just
the way it plays,
new...
but yeah.
So still a remake, just unexperimental.
Yeah. See, I wish that's what happens, honestly. Like if it's gonna happen, I mean, I don't think it needed a remake really to start with, but if it was gonna happen, I would have much preferred it to be, you know, maybe the new graphics, maybe even the new the new stealth system, if you want to call it that. The fact you can crouch now, I think the world
you can bend over.
You can bend over
on command.
Exactly.
On command,
exactly.
You know, yeah, it's great.
and then Edward will go, "That's class."
Yeah, Edward will go, "That's class" after boss fighting.
Yeah, are we including the quips in the faithful remaster, or are we these 10,000 lines of dialogue? They've sat Matt Ryan down for like 2 weeks straight and just got him to say things.
Yeah,
just in regards to everything in the game.
That's more or less what's happened. They probably had him come up with some of those things.
Probably, yeah.
You
Like,
cannot,
what would you say,
cannot
Matt?
convince me some of those things were written down.
Yeah, it's like when you loot a chest, you'll go like, "That's mine now" and stuff like that.
Yeah, he just keeps talking.
Made a mistake, mate.
Yeah,
he just doesn't shut up. It's not a problem I had.
Yeah.
It's not something I objected to in original Black Flag, because guess what? He shut up enough that I didn't ever go to myself, "Edward, shut up." But I got to that first island after, you know, stealing the jackdaw, meeting Adewale and all of that, and you're on that island doing some hunting, and Edward's just quipping every 5 seconds. You're like, Jesus Christ, man, shut up.
Yeah. It's the frequency is way too high. I mean, I don't think they needed
to add...
Yeah, it
exists. That's my problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. They didn't need to add those lines to start with. I think the new NPC, like ambient dialogue, is all right. You know, I think it.
Some of that is good.
Yeah, it like can add
those
to
little
like
side quests for like plantations, like where the guards are talking about where the key is, like stuff like that. I think's nice.
Yeah,
Even dialogue at unmarked locations where Edward will like say what this thing is. For an unmarked location, I think that's pretty nice.
There are points where having some commentary from Edward is good, but they've done it to the point where it's almost like Edward is conscious that he's a game character being puppeteered by
ironically,
a gamer.
because in this game he's not.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Puppeteered means something different in in Assassin's Creed terms, but I mean more generally.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think it's way too handholdy, a lot of his dialogue. And again, like I think, as I was going to say,
it doesn't hold your hand though; it just confuses you.
Well,
I knew what I was trying to do.
When I say handhold,
now Edward's talking.
I mean like he'll often in a quest, or like a memory, but now called a quest. He will repeat things we already know what we have to do. You know what I mean? Like, I've got to go here, and I just think, well, I know that. You don't have to tell me. And I think all of that stuff's a bit much. And there are, like we said, there's like cringy lines, like you take some treasure and he goes, like, "Oh, that's mine now," stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've got to dial it down. If they're going to add an update, I think they've got to reduce it. They've got to.
Or eliminate it entirely.
Yeah, but they won't do that.
When it's giving context to things.
They need like a slider in one of the menus. They need a slider. How much dialogue do you want? Like
How much
Edward
of a chatterbox do you want Edward to be to himself?
Edward Yap frequency.
Create your own Edward.
It goes from 0 to 100, and if you turn it to 100, he just never shuts up. It's just a barrage. That would be funny, to be fair, if he just had it so he would never stop talking, like not even for a second. He's always saying something. That would be quite funny. You know, just in the middle of a stealth mission, he's crouched. He's in a bush.
Oh, I hope they don't find me. Oh,
he's right behind me, isn't he?
Ooh. Oh, he would see it.
Just stabs a guy and screams, "That was class."
Yeah. I think I just stepped on a twig. I hope they don't hear me.
I had a real problem when I was doing one of the treasure maps, because he's like, "Oh, I think it's around here," or "No, I think it's back there. I recognize this place." I'm like, okay, and then I was using that to try and find out where the map was, but the location of the chest was nowhere near where he was talking.
Where he was going, this place looks familiar.
Yeah, and it was
seen
like
it on a
literally
map.
like it was in a cave, and it was about 2 or 3 rooms away from where he said, "This is the place I recognize." So it's even that's bugged out.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Have you guys noticed that? Oh god, it just does sound like we're rinsing it. But
We need to get out of our systems before we come down.
Yeah.
This is getting the beans out of the system. Yeah.
Have you noticed in the subtitles there's loads of random words capitalized for no reason?
Yes. Why is that the case? Is it? I genuinely think it's the script. I think it's the script, and it's what the actors need to emphasize the words on.
Oh,
You reckon they just copied and
think
pasted the script line for line in?
Maybe. They probably chat GPT'd it and said, like, emphasize the words.
Emphasize particular words.
Yeah, because it is just like, I mean, it is totally random. It's not even like
It is, isn't it?
just the words that they emphasize. I tried to listen sometimes and see is there anything special about the way they say some of these words, but no, it is totally random.
Oddly, I didn't notice that. Like I should have noticed that if that is indeed a thing. I had the subtitles on and all sorts. So how I didn't notice that baffles me.
Oh, you'll notice it now. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'll do another playthrough just to notice.
Oh no, you don't need to go that far.
Oh, wait, how far do I need to go?
That. They'll add New Game Plus soon. I think they said that they're working on that, even though it's a single-player game without any progression.
For Black Flag with not really much progression, you upgrade a ship. You know that's about all the progression you get. You increase Edward's health by killing oddly specific animals.
Yes.
I'm guessing if they do add a New Game Plus, it's gonna be just rewards like outfits and shit, surely. Or
it's just gonna be to get more stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, you steal the jackdaw and it's already insane. It's already stacked. So we don't need to flee anymore. You know that first
we're
time
going back
aboard
into
the
that fleet.
We're just going back into that fleet and sinking the lot. What's going to happen then? You know.
Maybe that'll be a rift. What if the jackdaw was fully upgraded when Edward got it?
What if when Edward stole the jackdaw, Lucy Baldwin, the Padre, and Deadman Smith were already there to give us the perks?
Oh shit! Yeah, how are they going to?
They just emerge, Captain Kenway. We've come from another timeline. You know,
it's Animus magic.
Through a little animus trickery, magic. You can do them. Their quests after you've met them.
Yeah.
Well,
oh god.
What do you think, Ethan, about the rifts then? While we've brought the rifts up quickly.
Cool idea. Well, are we talking about like the what if scenario?
Yeah.
Where you go to these sort of like.
I still haven't done the last one of those, but I've done the first 3 now.
I understand what they are going for. So the modern day of Black Flag Resynced is not the modern day of original Black Flag. That's probably the best place to start. You know, it's that's been removed. So the narrative significance of the Sage and that communication across centuries, that's sort of severed. So having Robert still there and then having not the John from IT or whatever his name was, that does create a bit of a disconnect. So how are you going to lend significance to the Sage in the narrative if the part of the narrative that is actually interfacing with is kind of removed? So the modern day of original Black Flag probably should have been in a remake of Black Flag, because what they've done now is they've removed it and they've added something else, which means that Black Flag Resynced sits at a separate point in Assassin's Creed's illusion of continuity than Black Flag did. So that means you have to play Black Flag twice, I guess.
Oh, if you care that much to play, in chronological
of course.
order, going off the modern day.
I'm not saying that there hasn't been a total defenestration of continuity. I am. What I'm saying is, if Ubisoft should treat it as if there is some, at least you thought.
Well, we're in 2090.
Yeah, we're in 2096 to be specific.
Oh,
No.
It's like a
God.
it's a cyberpunk future
Yeah.
where it seems Abstergo has sort of like become like some evil big corporation that owns the world or something. Basically, the way I understand it from the data that you get, the things you can read, the Animus is now a piece of ubiquitous technology, like addictive, sort of like how a mobile phone might be, and that is slowly but surely turning people into drones. And the protagonist we supposedly play as, who never leaves the Animus, is one such victim of that circumstance. So these rifts are where we actually get something to interface with, but that then interfaces with nothing, because it's stuff that you can read, it's cool ideas, but it is just ideas. And the rifts follow suit in almost every single way.
Yeah.
They're an idea. Like, Ego is a Templar AI within the Animus that is digitally lobotomizing people to turn them into drones or something. I gathered that. What I don't know is why. Or evil.
Bad guy,
or,
bad.
But more than that, I don't know where, how, and only when, because it's written down somewhere. So basically, the modern day has been reduced from you're working for an evil Templar organization masquerading as an entertainment company for some reason. As a side note, I really don't know why Ubisoft project themselves onto Abstergo so much.
Recreated their offices and everything, didn't they?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's actually the best in-joke they've done. What now? It's sort of like where was I? I was saying that yes, the modern day here just isn't really interacting with anything.
Exactly.
It's totally separate. They
to...
even said that they hid it. Like, they didn't put any map markers on because they wanted it to
They
be
hid
like
it because they
surprise.
didn't want you to do it. Well, I mean, or they wanted the people to do it to be the ones that would go out of their way to do it. I understand. Yeah. I appreciate. I respect that. But at the same time, so what if somebody who wouldn't be interested in your game anyway doesn't want to do part of the game? You know.
I mean, it seems very evident that a lot of, the most recent Assassin's Creed games have modern day elements just for the sake of having them. Like, Ubisoft think, well, this is kind of still part of our identity, so we kind of still need to add it.
It isn't that it's part of the identity, it's the total narrative framing device that we're throwing out the window here.
But I'm sure they're not bothered about that, are they?
I think they're including the bare minimum. They're including the bare minimum.
Yeah, to maintain that there is a framing
so they can't
device
complain about it. You can't complain and say, "Oh, there's no modern day." Yeah, there is. You just got to go looking for it.
Yeah, it's
not
but
good,
they kind
though,
of
Crap it is. No, it's awful. It was. I played the first Rift and I was disgraced. I got it was fucking awful. You're carrying Edward's soul in a chest or something, like his heart.
I was actually worried I'd be the one with the most harsh opinions here, but I have a feeling that might go to Lewis.
Look, the rifts like the ideas. They're just shit.
I like the idea of the rifts. I really like the idea of the rifts. I like the idea of being the modern day being set not in the modern day, but 7 decades in the future. I know why they've done that, and that is entirely so that it's out the way, so that when they inevitably decide, I don't want to deal with that, they don't. But I like the idea of this cyberpunk future where the Animus has become this, widespread technology that people are abusing to the point where it's become an addiction, and that's turning them into mindless drones. I think that's a really fascinating thing to play around with for Assassin's Creed. Because if you think of Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, The Bleeding Effect, the Animus has always been portrayed as somewhat dangerous, and there have been entire periods where this franchise has willfully neglected that aspect of this nightmarish device. So to bring that back in is pretty cool. But they're not doing it for that necessarily. They're doing it so they don't have to address it at any point.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's a great idea. It's just that's all it can be until they actually do something more meaningful with it. That's one thing I hope, and I hope this is something that Darby can do with Hex, is that he can actually take that idea and maybe do something interesting with it, actually incorporate it somewhat into the main story, and actually show us this cyberpunk world, and to an extent. And I think, like you said, it's a good idea, so I hope he does something with it. But for now, they obviously started off this modern day with Shadows, and so we could piece together a lot of things from Shadows, and obviously now that's carried over into Resynced. So I'm just hoping that they don't keep doing it this way, and I'm sure they will. And if Hex is a what's the word? It's an outlier. It's the only one that actually does something with it. I'm sure we'll be back to what we've got now for the foreseeable future for modern day, which is a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too familiar with what Shadows did for the modern day. I've still not played it.
It's about the same as what you see in Resynced, to be honest. You just piece together, you find stuff, you read stuff,
random audio files. Is it set in the 2090s?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
It's stuff.
Yeah.
Oh right, so this is their I don't want to deal with it timeline.
This is like, it's in the Animus hub. You can find that if you want, if not, though, that's kind of what it is.
I also have to say, this is the first Assassin's Creed game I've played Resynced with the Animus hub.
Yeah.
Why is that there?
Oh.
It exists entirely to substitute for a title screen, and I don't like that.
Yeah, well, in Shadows, I think you could tell it was meant to be for microtransactions. It was meant to be for like a heavily monetized practice that would be across different games. Like it's meant to be a launcher, I think. And
okay.
I'm pretty sure when they were developing Shadows, I think that's when Mark Alexi Corte got kicked out. Things had to change, and then the version of the Animus Hub we've got now is a much stripped back version of what we were meant to get.
So it's just a substitute for every single game's title screen going forward.
I mean,
until they scrap it.
It's not even very well made, because they have that timeline where you can see all the different characters, but all that does is close the game and reopen a new game. It doesn't transition you in like it does with Resynced, or when you're playing Shadows, it transitions you into that.
If you had Shadows and Resynced installed at the same time, if you transition between the two, would it work then?
I don't know, because I uninstalled Shadows the second Resynced came out. So
Valid.
I couldn't. I should have tested, yeah, but for me, I can just see like a picture
Understandable.
of them. I was like, I'm never going to play this again now.
I'm never going to play Shadows again. It's like the only Assassin's Creed game I've only ever played once through was Odyssey, I think. That's tough. This is. Yeah, it was tough the first time around. The second time around, no chance.
I can't believe you've done Valhalla more than once.
I've done it 3 times.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness.
Too much spare time is the answer.
That is a lot of time.
And YouTube monetization is the second half of the answer.
No.
It's not like I did it for vibes.
Oh.
So we can get that idea out of our heads straight away. But I do have a liking for Valhalla, so I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend it was time ill spent. It was just mostly pretty rough.
Just a long amount of time.
Yes, it's very much so like being like having a flight delay at an airport with nothing in it. That's how I equate it to. It's very painful. Resynced, fortunately, you can wrap up in about 24 hours.
Yeah, I was quite happy when I finished the game and went, I've only spent like 25, 30 hours. This is
you finish the game and you go, thank God it's over. They've not added anything more.
Well, when the game is short, I'm actually encouraged to go in and do the side stuff, and I'm like, I know I can achievably 100% this, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, with a really long game, once you finish the game, you go, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point in cracking on after this point? I've done the story. I've experienced that. I've wrapped up this. I've wrapped up that, because this game has 16 different endings for some reason.
Yeah.
This is I'm throwing shade at Valhalla again, and after you've done all of that, you kind of, you've had your fill. There's no point in continuing. With Black Flag Resynced, because it's Black Flag, it's got one ending. It doesn't take anywhere near as long to finish, and then once you're finished, you go, all right, I want to turn my time now to this open world, to sap it of everything it has, because that's the way that game was originally designed, and that is still, for the most part, there, you know?
Yeah,
Very
I
different
think
game.
so. I think it's still there. I mean, the only thing I've
still
got
Black
left
Flag,
at the minute
yeah.
is the legendary ships, which I don't know if they're more difficult this time, but I'm having
They are.
a
They
fun
are.
time with them. I've only done the one that has the two ships together. I've somehow done that one and not the others.
I think that one's one of the easier ones because there's two of them. They're weaker, and you can board them and repair, can you not?
I didn't board them, but I found it was easier to just go straight down the middle of them because that's the best chance to hit both of them before they turn around.
Oh right, and then because you've got the all important Lucy Baldwin, if you brace, you don't take any damage.
Yeah, I must say, like that was.
Because apparently the ship becomes impervious to cannonballs if you just duck.
That's just the ship being terrified to be fixed by Lucy Baldwin.
Oh, Black Flag's new content. It hurts.
It does. Before we get we already have, but before we get even deeper into the new content and stuff, is there anything we want to say positive about Resynced?
Visuals look nice.
Just to let the fans, the viewers know that just because we are going to keep going in doesn't mean we didn't have a good time, we didn't enjoy the game. Because I played it and I've always liked Black Flag, but it's never been one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. But playing it through this time, with Resynced, it sort of connected with me more, and I thought, oh, you know what, this is a very great game, and so I got that from Resynced. It's just the new content didn't do that. It's the original stuff,
I quite like the visuals.
Yeah.
I think they look great. A lot of the character models as well look fine. Some don't, but that's a different problem. I like the improvement. I like how the combat has been adjusted. In original Black Flag, it was nothing to write home about. It was counter kill, counter weapon. Like your sort of like your ranged weapon, or counter and throw, and everything else was just sort of nah. But instead now you've got the parry, takedowns, or you wail on a health bar or whatever, and for some reason, I just find it's a little bit nicer to engage with because it's not immediately muscle memory. Because with Black Flag, it never had that. It was muscle memory straight away because Assassin's Creed 3 had a superior version of the same combat system. So I quite like the changes they made there.
Yeah.
In the sense that it gave me something to learn while...
It's kind of like a simpler version of Shadows' combat, which is kind of the same for stealth. Which brings it closer to the original game than I thought it was going to be. Like, when I looked at the trailers, I thought, oh, it's going to be exactly like Shadows. And then it came out, and I thought, oh, it's actually a lot more like the original game than I thought it was going to be. It's still pretty easy, but it's at least it feels like you're doing a bit more, or you're having more input into what's actually happening.
Of course,
which I guess is helped by the environments being, I guess, destructible or interactable, stuff like that. There's a few little things that make it feel better, but I still think Shadow's combat was better, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that it's somehow the deepest combat system I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
I just like it better than Assassin's Creed 4's original combat, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I personally am not a fan of AC3 or Black Flag, or I guess Rogue as well.
I like 3's combat system a little better than 4's because a lot of the more advanced things that it does, it puts in front of you more reliably. So, the double counter kill. In Assassin's Creed 3, they'd occur randomly all the time in combat. However, in Black Flag, you have to physically aggravate it out of the system.
Yeah,
like
I get what
you
you
had
mean.
to,
There's
you
sort
had
of
to
less.
You had to parry
about.
and do nothing with that, which the game discourages because it goes into slow motion for a second. 3 times while you have 3 guards around you, then 2 of them might attack you at the same time. You had to aggravate something that was so cool in 3 out of the system in 4. It's just stuff like that. Like 4 did a worse job than 3 at advertising what was available to you in the combat system. Both weren't necessarily the most deep, but 3 did a better job of showing you what it could do.
Yeah. 4 also reused a lot of animations, which I still find funny that they've made it their way into the remake. It's like, I'm looking at the same sword animation that's just reused from Connor's Tomahawk, like 13 years later. They're still just, like, I don't know, they're admitting that this recycled animation is still better than what they could do now.
Yeah, well, it's not even just that in Resynced though, because you've got the assassination animations from Unity as well, which I thought
they've gone very
were quite
far
funny.
back.
Which I thought were pretty funny. I mean, they are good animations, I'll give you that, but you'd have thought they'd have come up with fresh ones for artistic purposes. But hey, definitive remake.
Yeah. What do you think about there being no hidden blade combat and no like disarming and picking up weapons?
I object to both, because I don't mind there not being any hidden blade combat. It's a strange melee weapon anyway, but it's not removed because it's a strange melee weapon. It's more like it's not been added because the current Anvil engine doesn't have the capacity to account for it, I assume.
Yeah.
So it's probably just a layout thing more than anything, but that's the real problem, and that's why there's no disarming and there's no picking up environmental weapons, which is really strange when Assassin's Creed 4, Assassin's Creed 3, and Rogue were very environmental based in their action. So the environment was brought into the action, and it was done through multiple ways. So you had takedown animations that were contextual to your surroundings in all 3 of those games. You also had the ability to pick up muskets in Assassin's Creed 3, for instance, and use them on the fly. That was pretty cool. The disarm, again, is sort of like it was sort of like the thing that started it all, because that was from Assassin's Creed 2. But it's a similar concept. It's about bringing the environment into the action. And that's not entirely gone in Resynced, but a layer of it feels missing.
Yeah.
Because you can't just pick up a musket, you can't pick up an axe, you can't pick up one sword, as opposed to Edward using 2. The animations for the one sword just one sword in Black Flag were superior to Edward's animations with both of them, to be fair. So that's disappointing to me, because in Black Flag I rarely used Edward's dual cutlasses. I always disarmed a singular sword off some guy and used that instead, because I preferred the animations.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Is that an interesting take? I mean, I might be weird. I don't know. It's just how I view it.
I don't think I disarmed much in Black Flag, but I think it's the variety thing, isn't it? Like, for me in AC3, it was great to pick up muskets and axes and try different things. And in Resynced, it's like, I've got the choice of which heavy attack I do with the swords, and that's it.
Do you stab or do you stabby stab? You know?
Or do I shoot? Do I just spam the heavy attack on the pistol swords and just shoot everyone?
Or do I drop a smoke bomb and then try to shoot and have the gun blow up in my face?
Yeah.
That's something I've noticed happens. Does that happen for you guys? Have you ever dropped a smoke bomb and then shot and it's just blown up in your face in Resynced?
I don't know.
I can't say that. I don't really use the smoke bombs.
Do you know?
I use them as my opening move. Especially my opening move. I get 3 easy kills out of it before I have to worry about fighting anyone.
I would, when I'd board a ship, I'd just throw smoke bombs down and assassinate them all, and it would just save a lot of time.
But do you have those, I think it's the gold pistols that you get with the deluxe edition. They let you, you don't have to reload as long as you're anonymous, which means as long as you don't get detected, you have unlimited ammo.
Unlimited ammo, or just your entire capacity can be fired without reloading?
Your entire capacity. You can just keep shooting and you won't need to reload.
Oh, okay.
So I just use that to, like, John Wick an entire plantation.
It is a bloody shame that there's something innately loud about a pistol, isn't there?
There's a trinket I think you can get that quietens your pistol shots.
Ah, yes, the trinkets. I stopped looking for them when I got the Red Bull one. And then I just transmogged the other trinket to look like it as well. It gives me wings, okay?
Oh man, Red Bull. I remember when
before they sneak that in.
Do you remember? You might not know, Ethan, but before Shadows came out, there was like leaks of all these collaborations that was going to be in the game, like Wendy's. I think Red Bull was there. There was
Wendy's.
Yeah, there
How
was
the
like
Wendy's going to show up in?
I know. I don't. Well, there was
feudal Japan.
There was Mastercard, like all of these. There was Bape, you know,
I
the
remember
clothing
the
brand.
Mastercard one. Yeah.
But
Mastercard. Hang on. You're gonna have to explain this to me at length.
well, here's
I
the
feel
thing.
Like that's an important
When I played Shadows, I
did a video on the
I didn't even
collabs for
bother
Shadows,
looking
actually.
for them. I didn't even bother looking for them, so I never actually saw them. So maybe Lewis is better at explaining how they looked.
I just researched before the game came out all the crazy collabs, and I did a video on like the strange marketing tactics they were going for. But I don't know if I actually saw many of them in the game.
Yeah, I wonder if a lot of them didn't end up happening. Yeah.
Well,
there was
Red
a big
Bull,
flag.
When Shadows released, Red Bull sent me 2 cans of Red Bull in a big box.
I got offered that, but I couldn't be bothered, so I never asked them, gave them my address.
Well, so I got an Assassin's Creed Shadows branded box, and then 2 ordinary cans of Red Bull.
Just 2?
Yeah, just 2. Just 2.
Did they have the
bog standard? No,
did
there
they
was
have
nothing
the
on them.
Oh.
They were just bog standard cans of Red Bull.
And did you have to do any because you didn't play the game, so why?
Yeah, no, exactly. Just dropping completely out of a particular remit of gaming content creation. After a few years, you start to learn what weird mailing lists you're still on, and that has just happened to be me. You know.
No,
I didn't ask anything of it. They said to celebrate this, we want to send you this, and I'm like, cool. I guess, yeah, sure, if you want. And then they did. And I went, nice.
I got the email, and I just thought, do I really want to bother with this? And I thought, nah. So I didn't reply. But...
yeah, usually I don't. Usually I go, right, okay. I don't want to take the mic.
You were thirsty.
But look, and it's not even that. I just thought this is going to be funny. I have a feeling this is going to be funny. And sure enough, they were bog standard cans of Red Bull, free cans of Red Bull.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever chronically sleep deprived in a pinch, I'm sorted. And you
still got them on display, have you?
Well, the cans, no, they've been consumed. I have sleep problems. As for the box, I don't know which landfill site that went to, but
maybe they were playing the long game. Maybe they thought in a couple of years' time, Ethan might go on a podcast and talk about our Red Bull. Encourage the audience.
It was a year ago, you know. Yeah, entirely possible. Maybe this is just one really obscure, convoluted marketing bit for Red Bull, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know,
We're actually sponsored.
This podcast is sponsored by Red Bull.
This is a great time to segue.
Do you have wings?
Speaking of, just pulls out a can.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you can't see me. I've got a can right next to me. Had it here the whole time.
Just Photoshop it into the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Photoshop the Red Bull onto my screen. I'm slightly off center because of how dismally my room is set up.
Oh my god.
There we go. The Red Bull can will stay with us now until I either move my head or the podcast ends. But no, I mean,
sounds like a saw trap.
Where were we up to before we started talking about an energy drink that tastes like screaming?
I don't even know anymore.
We said trinkets. Trinkets in reference to...
Trinkets.
The trinkets in reference to
weapons,
the perk.
combat. Should we talk about stealth?
Can do.
I mean, we can.
It's somehow weaker than... I'm sorry, no, we should talk about something positive. That was the...
The visuals are quite positive.
Yes, yeah. It looks really nice, I will say.
The underwater regions were so good that the only way Ubisoft could think to repay the people who worked on it at Ubisoft Barcelona was to sack them. So,
yeah, that's true.
It's like Yves Guillemot saw how good they were and went, talent, not on my fucking watch, and then that was them. Yeah, you know.
So that was our positive moment. Gone.
Yeah. It's so good that it angered Yves Guillemot, and he went, right, you're going to get laid off. No, but
I thought you were just going to say laid.
Well, that maybe it is Ubisoft after
all. Oh god, yeah.
Oh.
You know.
Oh my gosh.
I thought
I had to at some point.
Yeah,
I thought the Steed Bonnet quest was pretty good.
really.
Okay, yeah.
I'll give, if we're gonna say something positive about the new content, I thought that one was all right.
Do you know what's
Didn't
quite?
offend me.
Do you know what's quite funny? I spent about an hour before we recorded making a script for a video and typing out how I really didn't like it.
I think it falls.
Do you want to just read
victim
that script out now, or?
Yeah, if you want to. New video, right here.
Oh, well, I can paraphrase it if you like.
Yeah, maybe just a summary.
I mean, look,
Paraphrase,
I think it's fine. Like, it's not egregious. It's fine.
It's the
But-
least bad.
That's a good way of putting it. I just think that
Well, you're not a fan of Dead Man Smith, and
I
Padre.
fucking love that guy.
Oh, I
man.
thought
Dead Man
that-
Smith.
My favorite character.
the Padre.
Padre was alright. I liked Padre.
I think the reason I didn't like the Steed one as much as I didn't like, the Blackbeard one and stuff is just because I don't think his character needed that send off, because I think I think he serves Edward and his journey very nicely, and I think the fact that you don't see him again and you just hear later on, at the prison that he was hanged or whatever you overhear, I think that's much better because it just shows Edward like how much he's fucked up, you know what I mean? And I think just having a nice, oh, goodbye, my friend type of thing. And then when he hangs up the portrait and he goes, oh, some things are, what does he say? Some things are more important or worth more than gold and silver and rum. And I'm like, you're not meant to know that yet. You're not meant to realize.
You're not meant to come
yet.
to this realization just yet, mate.
And I just that's why
That's
I didn't
okay.
like
He'll
it,
forget by the epilogue. When the epilogue happens, he'll forget
Yes.
all.
Oh yeah, the epilogue where he goes back to. But also, do you remember Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where the entire plot is sort of like gearing towards Eivor giving up this pursuit of glory and all of that, where Odin's sort of the voice on the shoulder, and Eivor's like, yeah, but I've got everything else. That's the end. And then at the end of it, it's like, but also glory. We're back. Yeah, that was Edward in this epilogue, if you will.
Well, that's the thing, and it's a shame. I think, like I said in my YouTube short review that I did the day it came out, I said I don't know how Ubisoft chose to do something so, I said boring, but you can obviously dispute whether it's boring or not. But I said something so boring with already established and substantial characters. Like I feel like it would have
that's a
actually
good
been
point,
a challenge to
But
do what they did when they could have done
we
something
could
so much
itemize
better.
We could break it down into particular segments about whichever characters. Because excuse me, I had a burp then. I'm drinking Lucozade, which is a bit counterintuitive to the Red Bull sponsor, but okay. Have that Red Bull, you bastards.
Yeah, fuck off, Red Bull.
So what I find to be so peculiar about it is they all seem to be plagued by the same problem. Like if you look at Lucy Baldwin, the Padre, these new characters, how they're implemented, and then you look at Blackbeard's implementations, and Steed Bonnet's. I come to this realization that all of them seem to chronically misunderstand either Edward or a character that Edward engages with, and Edward's dynamic with that character.
Exactly.
And this is a critical problem because in the marketing, if you remember, there was that sort of thing, and there was like this faux panel where Matt Ryan sat there reading a teleprompter and pretending it's original words, and he's talking to some people who work on who've worked on the game, and they're talking about how one of them goes, right, an important aspect of the stuff we've added is, would Edward do this? And I go, that's kind of reassuring to hear, and then I play through half of the new stuff and go, no, Edward wouldn't do this.
They came to the conclusion he absolutely would. It's just a shame. Like there's so much they could have done with new content that would have been so much better, and they just didn't do it. Like I wouldn't have minded seeing some moments maybe leading up to him coming to the Caribbean, or maybe some more moments leading on from the last scene we see with a child Haytham and stuff, and maybe that's not needed either.
I love Haytham's design in the
better
in the codex. I love Haytham's design in the codex. It's so uncanny and
I haven't seen that. What does he look like?
What is it? Him as a child, or
yeah, Haytham as a child, and it frightens me.
Let's have a look. I'll see if I can find it.
See that? Yeah.
Oh, it's so niche. Nobody's posted it. I can't see. Can't find it.
Maybe there's a wiki entry.
There will be somewhere. You know, it's Haytham Kenway, but as a child, and he sort of stood in a weird pose, and he's got a weird
I did
face.
find when they showed that cutscene, and now it's not like pre-rendered, it's in-game. I thought, did they try and make Haytham look like his adult self, but as a child?
I think so.
I think there was some strangely
That's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it works outside of entertainment, though. Like, if you look at a picture of yourself as a child and then you look at yourself in the mirror, you go,
it's true.
I see how I got here, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I look at a picture of myself as a child and realise I have a massive forehead, and I go, yeah, that tracks. So there is a bit of that. So I can't knock him for that. But if you look at the entertainment industry, it's just a child. You know, just get a child in. You're not going to de-adult the adult actor. So
I know what you mean. You just get someone who vaguely,
resembles, and by vaguely I mean vaguely sometimes. Whereas in reality, the child and the adult do look quite similar if they're the same person.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another fucking side note. Welcome to the Podyssey. It's a podcast of tangents and me, apparently.
Yeah.
Just to quickly circle back to Stede Bonnet, I just wanted to say, the reason I think it's the least bad is because for the first mission where he's like, meet me at this boat, I'll meet you there, I was like, oh, this could be quite subtle. He could just go there and Stede's not there, and that's it.
Yeah, which is what happened, is it not?
Yeah, but if it ended there, it would be alright. The problem is then you meet his crew, and they're all saying how great Stede Bonnet is, and there's a mutiny, and they're like fighting over something, and then you go back and you find out he's died, and then you have like a 3-minute long letter read from Stede about how he's learned a lot.
Doesn't he say that though in the farewell when Blackbeard cuts him loose and he's sailing away on his ship? Does he not say that then?
He says my time with you has been well spent and stuff. But
yeah, your friendship has meant a lot to me these past few years, whatever, etc.
Well,
which
exactly,
surely
though, if he already says it,
encapsulates everything that matters about the character.
Yeah, why would he then write a 3-page letter of information to tell Edward, and then you hear him read it out?
About to get
what I think the problem there is, you've got these writers who've been told Stede Bonnet's a really important character to the story of Black Flag, so you need to give him more. You need to make this character even better. You need to give him a bit more meat on the bone when it's a character that is perfectly beginning, middle, end.
Yeah, I like certain aspects of them trying to do that with Stede Bonnet, because Black Flag probably didn't encapsulate quite properly the pirate side of Stede Bonnet, and I just think
I do
being able to interact with his inevitable reputation even momentarily was kind of okay.
But I don't think they even do that well, because they just meet the crew and the crew go, oh, we loved Stede, he was great. I'm like, was he? He still seemed like a coward right up until the end. And even they still include the line when you're at the prison and the guards go, oh yeah, he was blubbering, he was a mess. Which works in the original because it's like, oh well, Stede clearly wasn't professional. He wasn't. It shows you that
Edward pushed this guy into a life that he wasn't suited to.
In the new content, it feels like Stede's giving him a pass and going, "Don't worry, I really enjoyed my time. This is who I was meant to be. Maybe I should never go back to my family."
Yeah, that's my point. That's
it just goes on too long. If you go to the ship and there's nobody there, and Edward's like, ah, shit, something must have happened.
Just abandoned. Yeah. That would have been cool, actually, like a mystery sort of thing where you look at it and go...
And then later you find out, he died.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead, yeah. He's Kip.
Do you guys remember as well when you get in that cabin and he's like, you've recovered your sugar? I was like, what?
Oh, yes!
It's not the same sugar, is it? It's 6 years later.
That is absolutely the writers have been given a PowerPoint presentation about each character, and on Steed's it says he really wanted that sugar.
He really wanted his sugar back.
How can we pay off the sugar off?
Same crate of sugar from 6 years before or whatever it was.
Even now, as a pirate, years down the line, he's still really mad about that sugar.
That sugar.
We need to have a triumphant fist pump in the air moment where Edward points out that he got his sugar back so that we can feel okay.
I feel
Meanwhile,
like
he's already been hanged. Like he's been executed. He's dead. He's gone. He's got sugar though, man. So everything's okay. You know?
Yeah, that's.
I feel like that's a moment for streamers to cry at.
Yeah,
it's meant to be a moment that gets clipped online. Like, look at everyone's reaction to Steed Bonnet getting his sugar back.
It's meant to be an endearing thing, and I think that's how they intended to pull it off, and to many it probably is quite endearing. To me, however, I'm just now completely overtaken with bafflement that is paired to the next moment where you are where you're reading the letter, and he's like, "I'm going to be hanged tomorrow." And he's like, this letter is written months ago, by the way. You know, this letter is not recent. Yeah. He is dead. He's gone. You know. This letter is just something he's left behind at this point, and he's gone. So, yeah, he might have got his sugar back, but his sugar has now outlived him somehow.
His sugar outlived him.
You know?
It's like, what I find with the new content is you can clearly see that they're really trying to tie into the themes, but they're just doing it so on the nose. And it just doesn't work with the rest of the game that isn't on the nose.
Nothing gave me a bigger headache than what they did with Blackbeard.
I just put a video out about that today.
We've recovered his hat.
So Adewale shows up inexplicably having recovered Blackbeard's hat after
was he swimming around for it
on a British man of war? So they probably have that.
Think about that. How did he get that?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's inexplicable. So Adewale, who probably has no sentimental reason to go back and risk his life in those extreme conditions to retrieve Blackbeard's hat, has come back, retrieved it, and then what happens is you get this sort of like funeral service in Great Anagua for Blackbeard, a man who's never been there. And what that funeral service is and have you not seen it's in the game?
He means
I mean Blackbeard never went to he mustn't have.
No. I mean he doesn't in the game. He might have in between the lines of the story, but that we can't really infer that. He didn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, after this point, what we get Edward going, you know, at this point he's supposed to be beginning to spiral. You know, he's going down that sort of like road now. He's well and truly on the way. So this is where it pushes him towards less ideal solutions to trying to find the observatory, like Charles Vane. So instead, now he's using this as a moment to unite the pirates, as it were, and he gives this speech about how Blackbeard's idea of Nassau needs to be preserved, etc. Whatever, you know, the Blackbeard lives on, even though Edward Thatch is dead. You know, pointless, vague platitudes.
It doesn't even sound like Edward. He goes like, Edward Thatch may have died this night,
but Blackbeard lives on.
And it's like, what?
And then you got Mary Reed nodding along.
But the point I'm trying to get at, is the platitude.
He puts his fucking hands on his hips as well when he does it.
Yeah, he does. Yes. What I'm trying to say though is the platitude is entirely vague. So it's just sort of the idea. No writing to flesh the idea out. Just communicating the idea in as simple a way as possible, and then that ends, and you go, okay, that was kind of crap. And then Edward's on the
Ezio's family plays as well.
That does play inexplicably. I was going to get back around to that, but whatever. Yeah. Yes, it is there for some reason. I don't know what Blackbeard has to do with the assassins, and even then, Ezio's family playing randomly is
maybe he was an auditoria.
This entire time he's like a long lost descendant of Petruchio who's been busy before being hanged age 13.
That's why he's got a feather in his hat.
Maybe in AC2 Resynced we'll get a letter from Petruchio.
Oh Christ.
I am going to die tomorrow.
I'm going to die this morning, but it's okay. I was probably going to die before I reached 16 anyway. I
want you to collect my feathers because this is what they mean for the themes of the story.
Yeah. Collect my feathers so mother can forget about me.
I had a vision about someone that will be born one day. His name is Blackbeard. He'll play a vital role.
I love how categorically fucked the continuity of Assassin's Creed is, because while this nonsense is going on, Cassandra's just in a cave somewhere, and
God.
nothing. And this is just what it reminds me of. Is just that Cassandra is in a cave somewhere writing.
Yeah, she's laying out the white cloth on the climbing points in cities. She's what else is she doing? Yeah. She's creating the vials or whatever.
Yeah, because in the final content update for Shadows, I don't know if you're familiar with it, they say that Cassandra was creating these fake temples to distract the Templars from finding the observatory.
Yes. What the observatory of Black Flag?
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine if Cassandra was in the observatory just chilling.
Oh my god. She was already hiding around the corner. She was already watching it.
The ladder in a post.
I have just coined on the spot the Ubisoft writing of the modern times, and that is the Cassandra is in a cave somewhere writing. You know, it's just that is what this new stuff has been. So to bring it back to Blackbeard, somehow, once this vague funeral service at the tavern is concluded, Edward's on the beach. He finds the map, and then Blackbeard's Force Ghost appears to goad him vaguely.
Goes, at it again, can we?
That doesn't even sound like him, you know. I wondered if it was like a different actor.
Yeah, but he doesn't sound like him in the actual dialogue, though, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
But what I'm trying to get at is we haven't achieved anything with this.
And you have Anne Bonny singing in the background because they're trying to recreate what happens at the end of the game, but halfway through the game, so
which defeats the point of it happening at the end of the game.
It cheapens the actual scene at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the game, it's a bit much anyway. Like, you know, leave it alone. leave it be. It's fine. With Anne Bonny, they tried to. I think they tried to. They've tried to make her more prevalent throughout the plot.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
then when Adewale disappears, Anne Bonny suddenly becomes a more makes a bit more sense as a quartermaster. However, and this undermines their efforts, Lucy Baldwin, Dead Man Smith, and the Padre, you know, they exist now.
Yeah.
Well, that defeats the themes of the story of Edward losing everyone.
Yeah,
and
at
the same time you are collecting people. Is piracy so bad?
These guys are fine. He's lost. He does, to be fair, because Adewale's meant to be the last one to go. At that point, when Adewale leaves, you want to feel as if you want to leave with Adewale. You don't want to stay with Edward, because that's what Edward's sort of feeling. Is like, I don't want this mission. You know, I just want to. I need something new, sort of like a new purpose, and that's his realization in that moment when Adewale leaves. You want to leave with Adewale. However, we have Lucy Baldwin, the Padre, and Dead Man Smith, and they're all still happily following us because the story doesn't interface with them at all.
Until the epilogue, so they have to just sit around and wait.
It is like throwing a hand grenade at the themes of the story, isn't it? You know, there you go.
Yeah. It's definitely distracting.
Yes, it's quite amusing though, because I also find their plots to be quite peculiar. But no, I think a lot of the before we get onto the new characters and why I'm not too fond of them, how they've expanded upon the characters that they've added new plot bits for is they haven't, to be fair to them, and I like this, they haven't overindulged in the character themselves. Like Blackbeard isn't really all that present in Blackbeard's expanded bit because it occurs after, you know. The same again for Steed Bonnet. He's already gone, you know. So we're not going to get random new scenes with this character for the sake of it. However, what we do get is such a vague idea that hasn't been really refined in writing in any way that communicates anything beyond the idea itself. So the game's just practically telling us it's an idea. Adewale shows up with Blackbeard's hat that happens to have a map in it, and that leads us on a treasure hunt for Blackbeard's treasure, and Blackbeard's treasure happens to be a bunch of farming tools because apparently Blackbeard now thinks there are more important things than gold and plunder in this world, and it's a misinterpretation of his one of his last lines. In a world without gold, we might have been heroes.
Yeah,
that's totally what they've done, haven't they? They've looked at that line
they look at it and they go, oh, he's expressing regret. He wanted to do more. He wanted to be more. And it's like, no. In that moment, he's saying the world
could have started over.
The world is what it is. I have no regrets for what I am.
It's not my fault. It's the world's fault.
I couldn't have been anything else. You know, and that was his declaration. And then people look back at the dialogue and you see, like, obviously Blackbeard sort of goads Edward a bit about the observatory in the original game and think, is he trying to be helpful there? No, he just thinks that Edward's a fucking lunatic. you know? So now we've got the farming tools that Blackbeard has left for Edward Kenway because he knew that for some reason that Edward would find it because he'd find his hat with the treasure map in it that he died with on his head.
They weren't even close enough for that to be something that would even be considered anyway.
There was reasonable mutual respect, but they didn't care about each other.
Exactly, they weren't like buddies, were they?
Blackbeard knew. He was like, I'm going to bury these tools so that Edward can make some farming, and then he can grow a flower that he will give to his daughter at the end.
It's worse when you realise that Blackbeard's death was a surprise attack. It's like, in the unlikely event of my surprise death.
Yeah.
No, but they put that line of dialogue in, as the ambush is happening and everything's like loud and there's explosions, you get that dialogue from Blackbeard going, by the way, this guy's called Maynard and he's been like trying to hunt me down for a while and you guys should really be scared of him before he kills me in a minute. And without subtitles,
Maynard?
You can't hear it.
Yeah.
Does it mention Maynard before we see Maynard now?
Yeah. Oh well, no. In the scene where he kills Blackbeard, as you're on the ship fighting the other ships, Blackbeard has like a couple of lines, but you can't hear them.
They've redesigned the dude who killed Blackbeard, was my thought. I didn't put too much thought into it until he showed up again.
Smile. Yeah. Like, why did they do a goofy shot of him smiling after he's killed him?
Yeah. He enjoyed himself.
It interrupts the flow of it cutting between Edward and Thatch.
I just think there's such an immaculate amount of foresight that Blackbeard is now conveying. In that he knows he's going to die, and as a result has hidden some farming tools. So, like you said, Edward can start farming on Great Anagua, which of course Edward would absolutely value. And that way he can grow the flower that he one day plucks out of the ground to give to his daughter, who he doesn't realise exists.
But that's a moment where streamers are going to cry when they watch it. My god!
My god! Is that Blackbeard? Is that the flower?
Yeah. We have now hit a point where Ubisoft's nonsensical writing is generating compound interest. Because that is multiple layers of unexplained things occurring.
Yeah.
I understand that Blackbeard is a bit more complex than just being a mindless pirate, and the original game does explore that to a point. But I think Resynced makes the mistake of assuming that Blackbeard was more invested in Edward as a person than he was. It also makes the mistake of assuming that Edward was more invested in Blackbeard as a person than he was. It also makes the mistake of assuming that all the characters involved were more invested in Nassau than they were.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just them using external influences of the 13 years that have passed since the original, going, well, Blackbeard was like the character everyone remembers, and he was like really well done, so we have to revisit him. We have to add more to his character when there was nothing there to add.
Yeah, and it's entirely interpreting, I think, a heavily misunderstood narrative to begin with. Like, for instance, how many times have you heard someone say Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is a great great pirate game, not a great Assassin's Creed game?
Every day. Actually, every day.
A lot.
But it's actually, outside of Assassin's Creed 1, one of the truest Assassin's Creed games in the franchise. Like,
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
How have we achieved this sort of like disparity? I understand how Assassin's Creed is very difficult to understand,
with the whole fan base, to be honest.
But the point is, we're now modelling these characters based on misinterpretations of their purpose in the narrative because we don't understand what the narrative's purpose is. But it's communicated. It's just obscure by comparison to the. It's epic to be a pirate, isn't it?
Can I ask you something while we're on this? Do you think that Ubisoft know what they're doing with the new content? They know that they're misinterpreting it and they're doing it deliberately because they think that's what the type of content the fans want? Or do you think that they are just fully unaware of their own characters and motivations?
Kind of both. I think the people who work on it, they're aware to a point. They're aware of what they're doing to a point. I also think they're not equipped to explore it properly. I don't think Ubisoft equips their writers or their teams to have the cohesive understanding of what the franchise is trying to do, because that's how a lack of direction appears. They don't have an understanding of they don't have a way to communicate an understanding of what the characters are there to service, because they haven't got that. They haven't got this like centralized sort of reference point, I don't think. Instead, you've just got Ubisoft Montreal do one thing, Ubisoft Quebec do something else, Bordeaux, Singapore all have different interpretations of what, in essence, Assassin's Creed is, and they're all wrong. You know?
Don't you find? Yeah. I just find it so crazy that we're just three random guys that can sit here and talk about it, and we can understand it on a level more than the actual company can. I find it baffling.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a kind of a thing about free time. I can't imagine anyone who actually works on the Assassin's Creed series has necessarily the time to go back through the entire catalogue of Assassin's Creed games and play them back to front.
Yeah, but I mean,
so many times as to get.
I think there's probably a difference as well, like
everything.
The size of the team. You know, we might know what the right thing is, but if you then have to say it to someone else, and then say it to someone else, like eventually it's going to get watered down. I do think,
get that, but
it's similar with Mirage. I feel like Mirage is a game where I feel like the devs knew what they wanted to do. They just didn't have the capacity to do it.
They weren't equipped to do it. Yeah. I think the people who worked on Mirage had the right idea, but they didn't have.
And you see that with Valley of Memory, because that's written so much better, and it's probably because they worked on it with a very small team that had more freedom to do what they wanted.
Yeah, there was more individual input opportunity. I think that definitely, like I said, the Bordeaux, was it Bordeaux who worked on Mirage? They had the right idea, I think, with that game. They wanted to strip it back to the basics and see what that left them with, and that happened to be their idea of a love letter to Assassin's Creed 1. And I actually don't disagree with calling it that. It just happens to be written in crayon. Because they're not equipped to do anything more.
We haven't seen the remake yet. We may be calling it written in pen soon.
The remake the remake is written in crayon, I promise you. If they're going to remake Assassin's Creed 1, they're in trouble. Like that is such a minefield, because Assassin's Creed 1 wasn't even made with purpose the first time around. You know, it was entirely accidental, I want to believe. And the reason I believe that is because it's sort of an offshoot. It was originally a Prince of Persia game, and it ended up becoming its own thing. And that just happened to be something frighteningly artistically complete. So I don't think you can remake that. You certainly can't remove the modern day and do that. You can't just add stuff wantonly without.
Just think of the dumbest thing they could possibly do, and they'll do it. They'll strip back the modern day. They'll just tell Altair's story. They'll add a new side quest where you meet some historical figure from that time period. And Altair will put his hands on his hips.
We're going to meet Saladin.
Maybe
and his infidel army.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to meet Saladin and his infidel army. That's what's going to happen. All of his infidel army.
They'll do it.
Hang on, was it not Richard?
Was it not forced to run straight away? It'll be using
was it not Richard the Lionheart who had the infidel army?
I remember
infidel just means unfaithful.
The town cry would go, like Saladin and his infidel army.
Be strong like Saladin.
Oh shit.
No, be strong. Yeah, maybe he's talking about Richard. Either way, we met Richard. We didn't meet Saladin.
There you go. That's the gap that they're looking for.
Yeah,
we're gonna
meet, fill in.
Yeah, but that's not the dumbest thing they could do. The dumbest thing they will probably do is go, we don't need Desmond, we don't need the modern day, and that
they'll replace it with Rifts.
Absolutely. It'll be the Animus Hub.
It'll be 2096.
The Rifts will probably tell the story like the Revelations discs. Like those sequences will probably be in there.
And we'll tell it like a what if scenario, where what if we included the modern day, you know? That's the thing that they will do. But the reason that's not going to work is because while in Assassin's Creed 2 onwards, where the modern day, especially with like Desmond, you could argue there are two plot lines occurring simultaneously. You know, you got the modern day plot, and then you've got the historical plot. In Assassin's Creed 1, it's the same plot. They feed into each other way too deeply. So they aren't separate narratives. It is one cohesive plot. So if you remove half of that, you've just removed half of your of your narrative.
And then you've got to fill in the gaps with
meaning.
new content. That's what's going to happen.
You can't because you've removed all of its meaning.
Just put some documents in the Animus Hub. The Battle Pass will have intel that you can read.
I think I was watching James streaming Black Flag Resynced, and he said,
he's been tearing it to pieces.
He they gave him a code. What are you expecting him to do? Not see
that
what
was
they
a dangerous plan.
see what they've done. You see, I think I understand the PR move behind it. Is if we send James a code, maybe he'll realise that we've done something good here. And then James got the code and went.
They got really confident from everyone else.
Yeah, if you're sending James review codes, you must be confident, because they weren't even sending James review codes when he cared, you know. So this is new. But what he said was the best way to remake Assassin's Creed 1. Well, I suppose I would interject and say the first rule is don't. But the best, if you're gonna have to do it, the best way would be to sort of zoom out and be a wider picture of Altair's life. You know,
include bloodlines as well.
Sort of. I don't really know the extent of what he was getting at, because he mentioned Assassin's Creed 1 and I switched off. But
I've been reading the novelization of the first game, The Secret Crusade. I've been reading that, Even just starting it with Altair's dad dying, I was like, okay,
yeah, but if you zoomed out and tried to tell a different story about Altair, you could do something with it. Whereas if you try to half remake Assassin's Creed 1 while also trying to half reinvent it in modern Ubisoft fashion, you're just not going to communicate what Assassin's Creed 1 communicated so eloquently. And
they don't give a fuck though, do they? That's the thing.
That's the thing. I don't think it's that they don't care. It's that they don't... It's that I think they have sort of an idea in their heads that their franchise is infallible. They're wrong, and the evidence is now building up that they're wrong, but I think they think that because it's such a long-standing franchise, that whatever they do, it's a license to print money. It's gold.
Well, I mean, they're right in that regard.
So now a lot of their writing is built on the fact that they have explained loads of these concepts before, or that even when they haven't. So you just end up with this game that exists and has a following because the franchise has a following, and not because the game has anything remotely resembling individual brilliance. And I noticed that with a lot of the dialogue in Mirage. I went, okay, yeah, but if this was my first Assassin's Creed game and I played this, would I understand what they're talking about? And I don't think I necessarily would, because I get that it's not using anything particularly complex, but it's also so simple that I can't assume that there's something complex to it. And that's a problem that they've carried on with. It was a problem in Valhalla. It was a problem in Odyssey. God knows, it was a problem in Origins to a point, but it's just got incrementally worse. I imagine in Shadows there's a whole like tub full of literary nonsense that you can only pluck certain strands of sense from because you remember something incredibly obscure about a previous game, and are now wondering why it's come back.
I don't think anything comes back in Shadows.
Yeah, they don't really bother.
I think it's the most bare bones.
No, but it's more like conceptual. I'm more talking about an idea, like a principle, a philosophical ideation, if you will.
I think they say people should be free at one point.
A couple times.
There you go. I don't understand why they'd randomly say that unless Paul Revere or someone said it in Assassin's Creed 3. But the point is, in Black Flag Resynced, how I see this is it's got, in some of the new content, is it's exploring this idea, and that idea sounds like Assassin's Creed, but it also doesn't sound like it's been developed at all. So I'm not equipped to understand it if I only play Black Flag. If that makes sense. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not. It's just randomly there, and this is why Assassin's Creed Modern Day isn't as popular as the actual historical segment on a more widespread sort of mass. Since they've appealed to more people, it's not as popular to them as it is to say maybe you or me. It's because they don't explore their ideas enough and assume that you've been following. At the same time, they're trying to appeal to new audiences. They're trying to draw people in to experience a genre of game that Assassin's Creed just wasn't the previous year. So you've got two things that can't coexist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's sort of what I'm getting at. There's a lot to more recent Assassin's Creed games that explore an idea that would be cool to an Assassin's Creed fan, but they're afraid to explore it in any way that would give it any kind of sense because new players won't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Well, that's what it is, but I mean, they could...
I think I explained that in the least efficient way possible, but...
Well, no, it's sound reasoning. But I mean, even still, if they wanted to try and do something a bit more meaningful and a bit more, really a game towards its roots, not something like they said with Mirage, I feel like they could do that. They could still do that, and they could still
they could
do well with it. It's just that they won't because they don't see the financial benefit to do that.
There is that aspect, I suppose. Now that they've had mass appeal with Valhalla and it sort of went well, it's like obviously the money is there. So why would we bother with these smaller scale games, wholeheartedly built from the actual ground up, not just saying that out of nowhere and then giving people a glorified Viking game DLC. I think a lot of what Ubisoft do on the corporate level is because it makes business sense or what have you. But when it comes to the people actually making the games, I do think they care about what they're making. I don't think that's the problem. They're just not equipped to do what they're being asked to do. And Ubisoft look at what they end up doing and go, that's good enough. Mm-hmm. Rather than, right, how can we equip these studios, these writers, these developers to make the product that this should be?
Yeah.
That instead they go in, right, this is what we need from you. Go. And that explains the difference in quality between original Black Flag and the new stuff they've thrown in.
Yeah. Also, though, you've got to think they must value what Assassin's Creed can be when it's really good to a certain extent because they've still got Darby. They're still paying him, I'm assuming, probably more money than any of the other writers they've got there.
Well,
which makes
his contribution to Black Flag was like 2 scenes, and one of them I don't think has any dialogue in it. These New Caroline things are blink and you miss it.
He has. He did 2 scenes. I think it's 3 scenes he did actually.
He did.
There was also the Roberts confession rewrite.
Oh, did he?
Because Roberts, the letter and the chocolate scene, right?
Confession scene is just cutting out.
Well, it's rewriting it slightly because they do change it. They do change it.
What did they cut out of the Roberts confession scene? Is it the destroy this body?
Yeah. They got rid of any mention of being reincarnated, and he just says like, I don't know, life is short or something. Oh, he says like you've become stoic to Edward.
No, because he had that in the original as well. Like, because I've looked back at the original and I've compared them, and for the most part, it's the same kind of point is coming across. It's just Darby he altered it slightly just to take the context
slightly because he knows that John from IT no longer exists.
Well, there you go. Exactly. He changed it so that it would make sense in the remake, and they wouldn't mention the East and Juno.
Does that not John from IT canonize the first game then? If they're saying like these both exist on the same timeline,
I don't think they thought about it that deeply.
I don't think. I think we're a bit past canon match.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I mean, you could argue that it decanonizes it, but at the same time, because they've added they've removed the modern day and they've got an entirely different modern day subplot going on, that both the games are part of the mainline continuity.
Yeah, and
in which case both confessions are canon. You know.
Yeah, and whatever you say though, like whether we decide we speculate on whether it's decanonized now or not in the original, it doesn't matter because Ubisoft can just say, oh, it's just the Animus. So
it's the Animus trickery. Yeah,
it's the Animus trickery. Yeah.
You saw the Abstergo version of that memory.
Exactly. Yeah.
They filtered it.
You saw what Abstergo wanted you to see.
Version of that memory.
Exactly.
I think this is the Abstergo version of that memory though. So I don't
both
know.
are technically, are they not? Because
because both of them are from Abstergo Animus.
Oh, this means they can remake it again.
Animi.
We could get a third version of Black Flag.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced finally.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's funny because I was thinking of making a video calling like AC Valhalla an AC Valhalla desynced, like where it's like a demake, because that would be better than the original, like if they took all the bloat out and they made it more of a bespoke Assassin's Creed game. I was thinking of like conceptualizing that for a video, and I would call it Valhalla Desynced.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think I'd probably also call Valhalla Desynced if they stripped it away and gave you just the bits that made it worth playing.
Yeah, it would make it so much better, I think. Because I know we're not talking. Yeah, I know we're not talking about that, but like, I do think Valhalla has so much, like peak AC stuff in it. It's just a shame that you've got to work really hard to actually get to it with a load of boring stuff. You know?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you've got to go through quite a lot of bog standard games to get to the bits that sort of speak to you. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe they should just make a diet Valhalla.
Hell yeah.
Without all the fat, you know.
Because then I think you would have a good story in there. We
shouldn't be giving Ubisoft ideas at this point.
Yeah, true.
It never ends well. If they take your ideas up, if they take you up on your ideas, they'll misinterpret them.
Yeah.
I mean, where were we before we started talking about Valhalla?
I don't know. Somewhere to. I was like Roberts. The changes. The changes, right?
The changes, yeah.
Yeah. Like, all right. What do you think about when Edward enters? I can't even remember the name of the island. The island with the assassins, and they've changed it so you do not. Yeah, that's it. You do not take out the assassins anymore. You take out soldiers.
Yes,
why do you think they did that?
Sure, yeah, I forgot about that.
Why do I think they did that? Because knockouts are a bit too complex for the current Anvil engine, and killing more assassins wouldn't help win them over.
It's because Edward's a good guy. Edward's a good guy. He's the best guy. He's a hero. Everybody looks up to him. He wouldn't kill innocent people.
No. Well, yeah, but he was taking him out. He was knocking him out, wasn't he? In the original?
It's purely having random British soldiers suddenly on the island. It's going to be a bit more acceptable and palatable for Edward to kill, and then have to face Mary Read and Atabai later, knowing that knocking them out is knocking people out even in the game at all.
It is before you at the beginning when you meet Steed on the beach.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. So the system is there. They could have just had it flick to that and left it as is. I also think it was quite a notoriously annoying stealth segment in the original version of the game, which probably didn't help them be convinced that it should stay. But
you wouldn't. You can't fail it now.
It's a strange thing to change.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why?
Who?
Yeah, I suppose now that wasn't a problem. Yeah. No. It just occurred to me what you said. Yeah. It wouldn't be a problem now, I suppose, but then you'd have to engage in open combat with your two swords with a bunch of assassins. I think it was just to simplify the gameplay as much as possible in that respect, because they didn't want you to have to be forced into combat versus assassins like you are in Havana, where Edward doesn't know who he's killing and they're just aggressors and trying to kill him and his family.
I guess.
Whereas now he knows that they are now he knows who they are now, sort of vaguely. He doesn't have a great idea, but it's like, right, kid's through here. Kid will not like if I kill these people. I think that's sort of established at some point. So it's like, right, I'm just going to sneak on in. And that also shows like a demonstration of potential as well. Whereas, and that's sort of why it's like the way it is. But now, because it's British soldiers, you can just kill them because that's all the game's action gameplay is tailored to.
Yeah,
it's you can't choose not to kill.
In a remake, they should not be making things worse.
Yeah, they shouldn't be cutting things out to make it more straightforward. It should
but
be
that's not the worst thing that they've done either.
No, that's not the worst.
The removal of the tailing missions is actually quite rough. I understand why they've done that. I don't know if you agree with me or no, but I understand why they've removed the tailing missions.
I think it's very silly that you can kill a tailing target and everything they were talking about with the person's written down on
just
a letter
happens to be on a letter on their body.
It's like, why are you telling him then? Why don't you just give him the letter?
Just give him the letter and call it a day, and you wouldn't have been killed by me.
Exactly.
I would have killed him instead. But no, that's not really what I'm getting at. That is quite absurd, to be fair, and it's really just so that there's a way to recuperate from a fail state that doesn't throw you out of the game and reload you. Sorry, but the other thing is that it causes other scenes to not flow so well to remove the tailing missions. But I understand why they removed them. There are too many in the original Black Flag. It's mostly tailing missions. It is annoying. That being said, certain scenes it undermines the writing of those scenes. For instance, tailing Torres and Prince in Kingston. In the original version of the game, you find James Kidd and you sort of interact with Kidd, and Kidd's not happy to see you, but whatever, you're tagging along now, and then you find out what's going on together. Now, you bump into Kidd, you speak to Kidd, and Kidd tells you, they're meeting in the cemetery. And then you go and meet in the cemetery, and obviously Edward blows the mission, and then Kidd is annoyed at Edward for blowing the mission. It's like, no, Kidd, in this version of events, you blew your own mission. You knew this would happen. So it's stuff like that just doesn't really work, if that makes sense.
I didn't even realise they'd streamlined that much.
Well,
this is the first time. I don't remember the original game scene for scene, so I'm surprised they've changed what seems to be very small and needless changes.
I can understand why, like I said, why they removed the tailing missions. They weren't particularly inspiring gameplay after the 90th one.
Yeah, but instead of making them better, they just got rid of them.
Yeah, instead of making them an option, and a lot of times they're often just not there. You have to do the new turn of events, or inversely, when they are there, because they're still there to a point. If you fail them, you find yourself on a completely different sort of quest where the writing just isn't as bulletproof, and that's quite a bit of a weird one, if you ask me.
Yeah. Should we talk about what we like about Black Flag Resynced?
I think we tried to do this before.
Yeah.
I like having a pet monkey on the ship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like Albert. Albert is my mate. We like him. He's a top guy. I'm not too fond of Lucy Baldwin, the Padre, and Deadman Smith. However, I like that it's an Assassin's Creed game in 2026 where most of the main story is mocapped, but that's because it's been recycled from 2013.
I think if anything, really it tells us that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe budget-wise, they weren't given anything for the new content. But some of it is more capped.
Idea, but
world
the scene
redesigns.
With
there are
Blackbeard's
certain aspects.
Is more capped. When Edward's on the beach, we've seen the behind the scenes of that, so there is some more cap in there.
It was quite literally just that, though.
Yeah. I think there is a bit at the end that is, but
maybe.
Robert's death is mo-capped, isn't it? The re.
I suppose, yeah.
Oh, that would be mo-capped as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do like is how is certain aspects, certain changes they've done to the world map. I like that going into Havana, Kingston, seamless now. That's good. I like some of the location adjustments. Yeah, I like the extra areas on Havana or Does Kingston have extra areas?
Did it have a plantation in the original?
It might have done. I don't remember.
Well, it definitely does now. They've given each city a plantation.
Yeah.
They've added slavery.
They've added slavery. Right?
They've taken away
the early 18th century Caribbean.
They've taken away the DLC that has liberation of slaves, and they've added a few more.
Yeah,
slaves.
true. The director, creative director,
Can you imagine,
did a couple of interviews.
Can you imagine, guys? Yeah. Can you imagine Freedom Cry Resynced, where Adewale goes to the Jackdaw's wreck and has an inner monologue where he misremembers Edward? Because that is the greatest.
My old friend, you were a wise man. He'll say.
Yeah, he just refers to him as his best friend.
Yeah,
as opposed to just the slightly less racist Welshman.
I wish I'd never left you, Edward.
yeah.
Why did I leave you? What's
why did I abandon
when
you?
When you needed me the most, I left you.
The life of plunder. I miss it.
God.
Yeah, we're not getting Freedom Cry.
Do you not think?
The creative director was asked, and he said it's not possible.
What do you mean it's not possible?
Well, he said like money-wise and time-wise that it would take them so long to do, and he said like he said something. People had obviously asked about Hidden Blade combat, and he said it would take like 3 to 6 months or something to develop that, and they just don't have time. When they would rather use the post-launch to add like quicker things that can actually
more stuff on the microtransaction store.
I don't doubt that'll be coming. Although surprisingly, he said that we're not getting any more of those battle
Edward
passes.
Kenway dressed up as Sauron, or
we've already got that.
Or there's stuff akin to that though. Like what else can you imagine? Like a unicorn outfit for him or something.
Definitely.
You can just have they have a rainbow ship.
There's a unicorn. There's a unicorn camel in Origins, so it wouldn't be impossible.
Yeah, well that's what they're probably going to prioritize in the post-launch. I imagine is stuff for their digital store, which still baffles me. Why is there a digital store there?
Because
at least this time you can pay straight with actual money though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is that right? Do they not have the credits anymore?
There's no longer Helix credits where you have to buy a certain pack. You have to buy a particular outlined quantity of Helix credits that is entirely mismatched to what is in there. Now you can just pay with physical money straight up.
I wonder why they got rid of that then.
Because it was shit. Well, also probably
it was
because
deceptive, but I guess it must have worked.
But no, I mean it's slightly morally improved, but slightly is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. But I just find it really baffling that there's time savers and random outfits that don't fit with the vibe.
Well, it's just.
But then again, there are Red Bull sales and skeleton crew if you want it. So and the latter of those was in the original version.
Yeah. Well,
so,
the thing is,
I'm not sure I can stand on that one too much. I just find it ridiculous still.
As much as we find it ridiculous, though, I think I read somewhere, don't quote me on this, but I feel like I read somewhere that within like the first week of Resynced coming out, they did like so many millions of sales in microtransactions.
Well. Yeah.
So it's like, well, there's your answer. We might not like it, but a lot of people seem to like it. A lot of people seem to. They see epic outfits.
I think Valhalla made $1 billion in microtransaction sales.
Damn.
A lot of people want to be an epic sea monster.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? I've seen like Reddit posts and stuff of people who do like give into it, and they say, "Yeah, like I'm one of the people." Like there's a whole like community of people who are just so happy to pay for it. They don't even look good.
That's sort of why it exists. I understand that, but I don't understand what the true to Edward Kenway sort of the true to Black Flag. I don't know how it fits into that model when you look at it from a broader perspective than just would Edward do this. It's entirely. How does this enhance the experience or does it detract from it?
Well, when they're making that much money, on it, they don't need to worry about the art direction, do they? They're just like, well,
can you imagine how much money?
all the DLC outfits were based on real people, and then you look at like the DLC in this game, and it's just colourful. It's bright, colourful.
It's just
Fortnite.
like anything. Exactly. I was gonna say that. It's like Fortnite. It's just like what looks epic, what looks cool
if it
on
glows,
Instagram.
it's better.
That'll lead you to then go and get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, It's just modern gaming, isn't it? And you know, as much as it's an 18 game, I'm sure they understand that a lot of young kids are going to be playing this. That's their gaming sensibilities. That's what they're used to. They've grown up with these in-game stores and Fortnite, and so if they can appeal to those types of kids, they're going to make a lot more money.
Yeah. Make the money through that. But I also think that Freedom Cry would have probably made some money if they did that.
Oh yeah.
I think unfortunately, I don't
made...
think people would have took it as well as they did when it originally came out.
Why is that?
They'll call it woke, won't they?
Well, exactly. Yeah, there's a certain side of the internet that just would not, want to see that.
They would be
do you
racist.
really want to Do you really want to cave to people who don't have two brain cells?
They already have.
You don't. Yeah.
Ubisoft
don't, but they do.
a Civil War game, an Assassin's Creed Civil War game.
That's that. I've heard
because they were scared of the backlash.
I'm not pretty sure how legitimate the rumor is, but I have heard it.
So they got.
They also got a fair bit of backlash after.
Yasuke, I guess. Yeah,
Yasuke. Yeah, that was huge. That was insane.
That's the most mainstream I've seen Assassin's Creed since Black Flag.
People calling it woke.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't. Yeah, it's just a weird one, really. Why would you cave to that? If you want to make that art piece, you want to own it.
Yeah.
You've got to own that some people won't like it, and that's ultimately what you got to do. I don't understand why.
I'm sure.
Understand why they've.
I'm sure what it is that from a business standpoint, Ubisoft are like, the racists and that side of the internet are a major market that we want playing our game. We want everybody playing our game. So if we play it super safe, then everyone can play it, and they're going to make more money.
So now we're going to do the Assassin's Creed World War II game where we play as a Nazi assassin. Hashtag Nazi. No, they could go the full way if they want to, but they'll probably keep it vague. I just don't know. It's just such a weird thing. It's a series that very much so speaks to an almost polar opposite ideology to the one that they're then relenting to when they decide that they're not going to resync Freedom Cry alongside Black Flag, if that's what they're doing, because it's like surely no, that would be a slam dunk move considering the message of the series, or indeed that Civil War game. That if as an idea, I don't know. It could fit more thematically within Assassin's Creed than, say, not doing that because they're afraid of the response from people who won't play their game anyway.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people, they get all uppity on Twitter or whatever Elon Musk renamed it to X, and then they're not really gonna be playing it anyway.
Yeah, and
they just think that because
every new release.
They'll just anyway.
Yeah.
Do you with Black Flag Resynced, it almost got it. They were sort of alluded to the idea that they'd adjusted Anne Bonny's cleavage. It's like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's who cares about that?
But then the second the game comes out, they just go quiet and then they move on to the next thing. So it doesn't really
wait
impact
for the next,
sales.
They wait for the next minor instance of something that may be misinterpreted by them as woke. And that's what happens.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. The modern internet is a weird beast. I try not to concern myself with it too much. I just crack on with whatever.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, isn't it?
So I had a funny eye roll about it when I saw that, though. That sort of like almost controversy out of nowhere. It's not really a controversy, is it? It's just like, why are we worrying about this? Have we forgotten how weird it looks to be outwardly talking about how you wish a game character was showing more cleavage?
Yeah. I think everyone in the world,
because there wasn't even a change,
should delete Twitter. That's the end goal.
Yep. If we can convince people to delete Twitter, that would be great.
Yeah.
Like, don't use Twitter. It's not good for you. It's full of bad
If you
things.
could switch out Twitter for like a therapist, that would be perfect.
Yeah, it is a substitute for therapy at this point, isn't it?
It was the opposite of therapy, isn't it? Oh god.
It's like the best way to describe Twitter is a bunch of mentally ill people want to convince themselves that they aren't mentally unwell.
Full of echo chambers.
And that I think that goes for the left and the right with Twitter, unfortunately. Like, you'll have people on any side of the spectrum just with unhinged takes. And it's not because they actually believe them. It's because they know it will get them attention.
That's the thing.
So we've now hit that point where we're no longer arguing with actual belief sets. If you're arguing with people on Twitter, the only thing you are accomplishing is wasting your time.
Yeah, I mean, that is what Twitter is, isn't it? It's latching on to an idea of something, whether you actually really believe it or not, just for the sake of attention and engagement and stuff like that. And it's really unhealthy, isn't it?
Yes, it also seems to have a bias for spreading false information.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there have been studies that have shown that false information spreads a lot quicker on Twitter than actual information might.
Yeah.
Because if it's false, you can embellish it in any which way, I suppose.
And it probably doesn't help that Twitter has really loose guidelines where you can be like outwardly racist or anti-Semitic or whatever, and it's just okay. You don't get banned.
No. However, if you mention dyeing your hair purple,
mate, you're out. You are out.
You're out. You're gone. Don't do it. Don't you think about it. Is that a swastika sound? The hair, though, no. Normal colours only. No, that's probably a dramatic example. I don't think I've heard of that, but so I don't really look at, as you can imagine, I don't look at Twitter to inform myself about the righteousness or unrighteousness of games too much, because they're all wrong. But I think there are certain instances where Ubisoft certainly sees the backlash that they randomly get, because everyone seems to be getting it because they're making things that exist, and there just so happens to be a demographic of people who want to find a way to politicize that and make them the enemy for today.
Yeah.
So, but I don't understand adjusting anything to adhere to that, because it isn't actually going to affect you.
True. And obviously
the only way it affects you is if you listen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know 100% for a fact that's why, for example, freedom.
Yeah, no,
of
course. Before I make assumptions based on that.
I mean, I will say that the example that the guy gave in the interview was that they wanted to focus on Edward's story, and if they were going to do any DLC for Resynced, it would have to be focused on Edward.
Right.
Yeah, but what are we accomplishing when we've already assassinated his character with him helping Lucy Baldwin, or convincing the Padre to give up his newfound purpose as a monk to become a pirate again, which happens pretty quickly after a fetch quest, or the last one. I don't think Edward's story.
I feel like Edward's written way too lightly. It's like he either ignores what Deadman Smith's going through, or he just goes, "Yeah, but we'll lighten you up. Once you get on the ship, you'll be fine."
It's not even that. This is occurring at a point in the narrative where there is no room for a side quest. Furthermore, Edward's finally made the change, and now he's going back to being a bit of a pirate.
You can't play it until after you've finished the game, so it has
you can
to
play
take
the
place
Deadman
after.
Smith bit before you can meet Deadman Smith before the ending.
Yeah, it's like sequence 11 or something.
Yeah, but not until after you've gone back to Tullum, and you've
right. So why did they do that?
And Edward is now on that mission, where he's now on the mission of an assassin rather than the mission of a pirate. So So now the writing is very much so the polar opposite of the problem that Lucy Baldwin and the Padre face, which is that Edward is showing way too much care for people he wouldn't care for, and he's helping them when he doesn't actually stand to gain very much from them. And the only reason the game gives us, the only reason the game gives us is the only reason the game gives us beyond "I need a shipwright," which we know based on Black Flag he didn't need, is that the only reason beyond that is the meta reason. Lucy Baldwin on the ship, if we brace, we don't take damage. the Padre, something or other. I don't know what the Padre does. I think it's ramming.
Yeah, he
ramming,
adds that ram thing.
Yeah. So again, these are things that were in original. Well, no, I don't think they were in original Black Flag. But
I think the ram is, but you need to finish all of the legendary ships to get it. So they're just giving you it earlier.
Yeah, but by the point of that's weird because when you've finished all the legendary ships, you're probably done.
Yeah, there's nothing to do after that.
You know, so that's kind of peculiar. Whereas I don't know, I just think it's all a bit odd. I also don't think Edward's journey is that sacred to this project. So I keep finding myself confused by what they've added and how it doesn't fit.
Yeah. So
I think they should have just done Freedom Cry, to be honest.
I would have loved that. I think that would have been really good.
Yeah.
They didn't even need to add anything to Freedom Cry. Just do it as it was. Just make it a little extra thing, you know?
Just give it...
Months down the line, we'll add the DLC. Because it feels incomplete now.
Yeah, Freedom Cry really felt like a farewell to a setting as well.
Yeah,
because
and
you
tied
had
into
him
Rogue
remembering
as well.
his time as a pirate, you know, and all of that, and also, you know, Adewale was a pretty good character. You could relate to him there, or you could understand him. Probably better way to put it.
If they ever do like a Rogue resynced, you're not gonna have like gotten to know the people that would die in that earthquake now. Like Adewale's... What's the place called again? I can't remember.
Lisbon.
That's it.
No, the one that Adewale goes to in Freedom
One in
Cry.
Haiti.
Is it Haiti? Yeah, Haiti. We'll just say Haiti.
What happened in Haiti happened in Portugal is Shay's line to Achilles, and that's burned into my
when
head.
Adewale first appears in Rogue, he's like, "Yep, everyone died. Whoops."
Oh dear.
Which is what happened to... So everybody in that Freedom Cry DLC just know that they all died about 20 years later from an earthquake. Yeah. So without Freedom Cry, you're now making that sacrifice completely... Not that it was like a massive deal in Rogue. It's really just to set up the premise of the earthquakes happening.
I don't think it would necessarily harm if they didn't for that purpose. But I just think that versus risking new writing, interfacing with old writing not very well, like Adewale's Freedom Cry story is quite good.
Yeah, you know, I don't trust them to add anything to that.
No, definitely not. It'd have to be as is.
Yeah,
I'd imagine. But there was so much more sort of emotion to it versus what they have added as sort of like a thing. Surely it would be less effort, you'd have thought, to do what's already there.
I wish they'd done that. If I could have told them 2 years ago, instead of doing all this new content, just make sure Freedom Cry's in there as well, it would have been more substantial than what they've done.
Yes, I think so, because a lot of what they've done just doesn't have substance.
No. Even the Blackbeard thing, like, they have the whole, Edward Thatch may have died, but Blackbeard lives on. They have this whole funeral service thing. And then the next scene... Idea. But the next scene after that is Edward talking to Charles Vane, and he's really somber, and he's talking about Blackbeard. Like, that was the memorial scene.
It's no longer the next scene. It's no longer the next scene. Now you have that funeral, you have the whole quest line where you go and find Blackbeard's treasure, it's all the tools.
And then
you build the plantation in. 2 months go by, and Edward seems to have healed from losing Blackbeard in this version of events. And then the next scene, it's just Vane going, "Shit, Thatch is dead."
Yeah.
And Edward's back to pondering over the flame. But
obviously, I mean, that's a nice visual of him with the flame. And they probably thought, well, we can't cut it because it looks cool and it's a good scene. So
also, we need Edward to persist with the self-destructive path, while also somehow being quite zen about Blackbeard in the meantime. So there's this funny disparity between what they've added and then how it interfaces with the story.
Yeah, we can't actually have Edward feel anything or develop because that's about to happen. Yeah. We're just pausing the story for a minute just so we can do a bit more.
They don't have him feel anything nor develop necessarily. What they do is they have him be just entirely healed because Adewale recovered his hat, and then after he's done this journey, this voyage of discovery, learning this life lesson from Blackbeard, who almost certainly didn't care to give one like that, he goes back to his misery and depression with Vane.
Do you think they actually
pursuit.
thought about how it was going to integrate, or did they just write these scenes in isolation?
I think
isolation, I would say.
I think they probably thought Black Flag's story wasn't as bulletproof as it perhaps was. Because there were points where you go, okay, yeah, it's kind of weird that they don't necessarily address that Blackbeard has died in any way that can be considered ceremonious.
Yeah.
And then we're just with Charles Vane.
The weird thing with that is, if you do it for Blackbeard, you're then expecting it to happen for everybody. So it feels now a bit like everyone else is robbed of that kind of ceremony.
I guess for like Mary
because,
a little bit,
yeah, especially Mary. I was like, Blackbeard gets a big send off.
But Reed gets a what if scenario as well. So
Mary technically
Blackbeard gets one.
Oh fuck
Steed
that one.
Bonnet
That was
gets
awful. She would have had a baby and been happy.
As for Charles Vane, he didn't need a send off because he was never really an ally, which was always the point. He was always a bit of a nuts guy.
Yeah, I thought Charles Vane was.
As for Hornigold, we kill him ourselves, so there's no real reason to go anywhere with that. After a bit, you sort of dwindle down the characters, and I
mean, Jack Rackham kind of disappears. I'm surprised they didn't do something for him.
Jack Rackham is, but he's like Vane. He's never really portrayed as a friend. He's just a pirate who happens to be there.
Yeah. I don't think
I always thought of him and Vane as like a second generation that came later and tried to piggyback off of.
I mean, ultimately, I think this all goes back to the point that realistically, these extra scenes were not needed at all, and only really cheapen the overall experience of Black Flag. And I love how we're talking about this back from when I asked what good have we got to say, but it's just the way it goes, isn't it?
Look, if we were going to talk about the good stuff, we'd just be talking about the original Black Flag and the story,
we'd just be talking about stuff. We've just been talking about the version of the game that's been out for 13 years.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If we're talking about additions that are good, it is difficult.
The Explorer outfit. There you go. The Explorer outfit. Yeah. You can get it now.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Altair's outfit looks very nice.
Oh, they've done a great job.
Connor's outfit looks hilariously disproportionate, but that's to be expected.
They've shrunk it down.
Also, when you're crouched, his hood decides to sort of clip, and it's quite funny.
I've noticed if you've used Ezio's robes while on your ship, the coattails go crazy. They stretch out massively.
Yeah.
And another red stripe appears, and I think there's a lot of. I mean, my Altair has clipping issues as well. The hood clips through his shoulder sometimes. But for the most part, I'll take it because I think the outfits all look great. They're animated so much better than in the original. They've actually got physics, whereas a lot of them in the original didn't.
That's pretty good. The legacy outfits having those physics, because that's something that's annoyed me since day one.
Glued to the legs.
The original sim is nice.
Yeah.
But I've only got Connors so far because I thought I'm not sure if I'm prepared to see what they've done to Altair's or Ezio, so I started somewhere safe, and then the exchange thing through which you get them, you have to get keys somehow, and that's a slow process.
It is. Yeah, you got 3,000 or something, and
I didn't realize the Black Flag version of the Battle Pass only gives you 500 for each week. Whereas in Shadows, you'd get 1,500 keys.
Right.
Pretty frequently.
As much as I'd love to get these outfits in the game, doing Battle Pass stuff does not interest me in the slightest. So I have keys that I found around the world, so I've got 150. That's the thing, yeah. So I'm kind of probably never going to get these outfits, which is a shame. But at least there's some progression for it. But I would love to see
legacy outfits.
I would love to see AC2 Ezio robes.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Like the original robes.
Yeah, the original
robes.
It looked a bit shit on Nowhere, so I wouldn't trust them to do it. To be honest.
They did the AC2 robes in Shadows.
Yeah, it was that and Edwards was the only legacy outfits they added. But they gave Naoya just a random hood. It wasn't Ezio's, it was just a random one from Shadows that they
just a
recolored
white hood,
to match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
then the
see.
robes had like a split in the back, so it didn't move how Ezio's original one did, and there was just too many issues with it. Whereas in Resynced, I'd say every Legacy outfit fits Edward, and it looks good, moves
Connor's
well.
kind of doesn't, because Connor's robes are designed to look good on a far bulkier
They're made
guy.
for a huge guy.
They're made for a big guy, so they don't really suit.
But then what more
Edward,
could they
who's
have
very
done? It's
slight.
either it looks really baggy on him, or it is proportional. I mean, I think the arms is the biggest difference. Like, his arms look very thin, so the top.
The lack of gloves as well. Like
Now that I don't get. It's the same with Altair's. Like, why do they not put the gloves? I don't think Connor's outfit has had gloves on since the original game.
Yeah, and Connor had the fingerless gloves, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Altair has one or
I
two,
feel like
depending on whether you're looking at
that's
the game
just an
or the
abrupt
screenshots.
stop. It's an abrupt stop to the outfit there, whereas that's a detail that I think is quite key.
Yes. Well, especially I think for Altair, I think his fingerless gloves the most iconic, because I think he just has the one for climbing.
No, that's Ezio who has just the one.
Wait, I need to, because I know in concept art Altair has two in like the posters, but I think in the actual game he only has one.
Am I right in thinking in AC1 when you get to a certain memory block and you obviously unlock different abilities or whatever, you get don't you get catch ledge, and then that's when you get a glove or something like that, a second glove? I can't remember.
Maybe, yeah, maybe
something like that. Because I feel like you don't have catch ledge for a while. It's something like it's been about a year since I
feel
played
the
it,
other
so
way
I don't
around.
remember.
In the posters for the game, Altair only has one glove, but I think in the actual game he gets two. Yeah, from a memory block.
Yeah.
Oh,
some zesty clips, some I don't know, whatever word you want, clips. It's going to be great. But I do actually want to say a couple things before we get into that. While we've got you, Ethan. Now, I'm sorry if this is going to bore you, Lewis, but I wanted to give you an update. Yeah, I wanted to give you an update on my Mass Effect journey.
Oh yes, tell me all about it. Tell me all about it, Harrison. Go on.
Oh, okay. I think you're gonna be quite disappointed here, but not for the reasons you're probably thinking. So, I kept you up. I'll give a bit of context for the viewers if they're interested. Last time we had Ethan on, he says, if you like Baldur's Gate, you're going to love Mass Effect. You've got to play them. And I thought, you know what?
If you like Baldur's Gate and space, sure. Maybe
Exactly.
Baldur's Gate and Mass Effect's a bit of a stretch, but...
Yeah, but that same sort of
space.
gameplay style, that sort of thing. If you like that sort of, BioWare style game, and I do. And I thought, he's right. I've had this on my list for years and I should get around to it. So I started playing it. And obviously I let you know when I did and sort of gave you a few updates here and there. And then I kind of stopped because, unfortunately, my gaming PC packed itself in. So I've not been able to finish it for about...
Oh, right. Okay. So where's the part where I'm supposed to be disappointed?
Well, that was it. Just because I didn't get to carry on because
your gaming PC exploded. That's kind of out of your control.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like I was getting to the point where I was fully getting into it, and I was like, okay, it took a while, but it's really growing on me now, and that's when it packed in.
It's okay. I've had the hidden one playing Mass Effect as well going finally.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Is he enjoying it?
So, I think so. I mean, he's only spoken to me about it like twice, but
yeah, fair enough.
But he seems to be really enjoying it. But yeah, no, I mean, when you get the chance, obviously dive back in.
Yeah.
So how far did you get through it?
I I think I was near the end, to be honest, but I don't know if it was going to carry on quite a lot after. But I got to I'll try not to get. I know it's an old game, but I'll try not to give any spoilers or anything. But I just got to a point where the true villain revealed itself, and I thought that was so sick.
Oh, you got up to that conversation?
Yeah, well, he started talking. I thought, oh my god, its voice sounded so ominous and really cool. Yeah. And that was when I
you weren't far off the end.
I thought so. And that's when I really started getting into it because I could start. My imagination started going wild. Like, oh, where where has this dormant AI been all these years? And I wonder why it does what it does and what we learn.
Such a cool universe, man. Like,
yeah.
You know, such a well put together bit of world building as well. That the entire trilogy is great for it.
Yeah. And I just
they have different strengths though. So Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, all different experiences. But yeah, no, I love Mass Effect 1 to bits. And that conversation is one of my favourite parts of that game.
It was so good, yeah. And like, I think I got to like the next mission where you go back to the Citadel, and that's where I saved it and thought, right, I'm going to carry on with this tomorrow. Went to turn it on the next day. It just wouldn't turn on. And I was like, oh, you're kidding me. I was so sad.
Peak.
I was so sad. So I'm just, luckily I've got, Xbox and PlayStation, so I'll just stick with those until I can justify myself purchasing a new one, a new PC.
Yeah, that's disappointing, but hey, Mass Effect will wait for you. Yeah. Look, it's 19 years old, okay? Like, you know,
exactly.
It's not like you're in a rush to get to the end.
I can wait 6
it?
more months. Well, I do have one more question for you guys as well, which is so unrelated to anything we've talked about today. But I just had a random memory like unlock about this the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask about this on the pod, see if anyone could comment if they remember this, or you guys as well. And that is, when you guys were in primary school, did they do a thing where you'd have to decorate a shoebox and put a load of random shit in it and give it to a starving kid in Africa?
Yeah.
Decorate the shoebox, but then you put like rotten eggs in it or something. No, we didn't give it to starving kids in Africa.
Oh,
sorry,
did you
what vintage are you? How old are you guys?
I'm 25. How old are you?
I'm 25 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're similar age to me then. So no, I didn't do that. Why is that?
Oh. Well, how old are you? If you
26.
don't mind saying. Oh, you're only a year older. You didn't do that. Damn. But Lewis, you did it.
What?
I have never given a shoebox full of tat to a starving child in Africa. I don't know what that says about my moral character.
They said you couldn't put any chocolate in it, anything like that. It had to be healthy food. Like, it had to be like cans of beans and like.
Are we expecting this food to go off? No.
It bloody better have done.
What did you put effort in?
Good stuff in that.
Well, my mum put effort in, and I watched.
Did you make an omelette and then put it in there?
Not to my knowledge. I think what it was. I told my mum this is what we had to do. She thought, oh, for God's sake, so she went to the shop and did it all for me. No, and I wouldn't bother. And then I gave it in.
Okay, so this happened to both of you, where you had to fill a shoebox with random.
Yeah, and you had to like
would do it.
Decorate the shoebox.
I remember sitting and everyone. Yeah, you'd put like tinsel and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
tinsel with the food.
Yeah.
Well, like on the outside.
Yeah.
Pint it and stuff,
just...
and then I can't remember what you would put in it. Like I guess little toy car and stuff like that.
Stuff like that. Yeah, it was just to
socks.
Stuff that could travel well. Yeah, yes, we put socks in. Oh my god, yeah, socks was like the main thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Socks and food items.
Socks, beans, I don't know.
Socks and
I'm thinking
beans.
about it more now. I'm like, how did it feasibly get there? Was this not just the teachers wanting a couple extra cans at all?
Don't worry about it, Lewis. All I'm saying is, right, were I a starving child in an underdeveloped nation and some charitable Western world country decided to send me Heinz baked beans, I don't know if I could do that to myself. You know.
But they might be pissed off. They might be like, "Hey, we could have ate for a week."
Yeah,
maybe. Or they could have had something that wasn't Heinz baked beans. But hey,
yeah, mate, yeah.
I just can't imagine that being an upgrade from starvation, to be honest. Sorry.
Well, they might beg to differ.
They probably would, yeah. I think I've just demonstrated that I can't necessarily immediately relate to a starving child in Africa. Bless him.
In about a week's time, the memory of this is gonna unlock, and you'll be like, "Shit, I did."
Maybe
but you've chose to block it out.
Yeah,
I've got such an insanely sort of like decent memory. I say decent because good's probably a bit beyond it.
Insanely decent. Yeah,
insanely decent memory. Like I can latch on to these key details and they stay there for a long time. I don't remember ever decorating a shoebox with tinsel to fill it with items to send to Africa.
Damn.
I do remember using a shoebox to decorate like an Easter sort of display where you'd get like these eggs. Paint them.
Yes, I remember doing that.
Yeah, I do remember that. But no, I don't remember the shoebox we're off to Africa operation. But that
you were sick that day.
I was probably sick that day, and every day it was mentioned after that fact by some miracle.
We're gonna probably head into our everyone's favorite segment of the Podyssey, and you were part of this before, Ethan, in our last episode, and I hope you're gonna have as good a time as any this time.
Oh, is it the Reels of Ruin?
It's the Reels of
Ruin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Mate, I've sourced some banging clips.
I have friends who have liked this reel. That worries me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Three of them have liked this.
All right, cool. All right, what we'll do is have you already clicked on it then?
I've opened it, but I paused it.
All right, cool. All right, what we'll do is
don't worry.
All right, I won't worry. We'll click on it then. On 1, in 3, 2, 1.
山对山来爱对爱，蜜蜂采花深山里来，蜜蜂本为采花丝，梁山伯为祝英台，一来，梁山伯为祝英台。
You read the comments now.
The comments are just a bunch of like gifs of dancing. That makes sense. To be fair, hell of a voice. Wow.
She's got a good voice, yeah, I'll give her that.
Yeah.
I was distracted by the goats in the background.
What are the goats doing?
I didn't even notice them.
They're just sort of wandering about, but
goat core. We are just here.
So that was that
fair
one.
Enough.
And
nice
it's a nice little way to ease us in, Ease us in with a beautiful lady and a beautiful voice.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right, the next link is in the chat, and we will click that on 1, in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. We got a slide.
I dream about this slide.
This is a definite. You found this at 3 a.m.
Yeah. This is the Doom Scroll slide.
How long does this go on for? And do I want it to end?
I bet you wish this was you.
I love the comment, is it safe for a pregnant woman?
I think so. I think it's okay.
Oh, is it coming to an end or does it loop? Wow.
I have to say, this slide is defying the laws of physics a bit.
Well, it's suspended in midair.
Oh, wow. It is... He's fine.
Yeah,
wow.
He's alright.
He's sweet. What? Nobody rides this broken coaster twice. Is this a game?
I have no idea. It's a reel.
It says Planet Coaster 2. Oh. But I don't know what that is.
To Google.
I'm going to Google Planet Coaster 2 and find out if that is actually a real thing.
Maybe it's like
or
actually taking a lot of skill to get to the bottom without falling off.
Taking...
This game looks great.
This is just an advertisement for a game we should play.
So guys, we are sponsored today by Planet Coaster 2.
Red Bull, Lucasade and Planet Coaster 2.
Yeah.
Why not? Sounds like fun.
Alright, I'm gonna... have I already sent the next link? I can't even remember. No, I don't think so.
Yes.
I have?
Yes, you have, I think.
Yes.
Well, you have sent it.
I've just sent it again.
Yeah, so it's definitely the same one.
Well,
Okay.
I've just sent it again. And what we'll do... Oh, mate, this one's sick, yeah. All right, what we'll do is we'll click the link on 3... No, on 1 in 3, 2, 1. Now, this is sick. This is... Someone's making a beat by coding. Like, they're coding a beat. I thought that was really cool.
Let's bring in the bass line.
I didn't even know you could do this.
Damn.
I mean, I don't know how legit the coding actually is, or it's made to look like that, but...
I mean, she's adjusting, like, sliders and stuff.
Yeah. But then she's, like, typing, you know...
What are the comments saying? Oh, yeah. Yeah. It looks like this is a legit thing.
And it sounds good as well.
It sounds good.
How's she doing that?
I don't know, but it's pretty cool.
Skillfully, I assume.
Yeah. Like, the idea of making a song seems really hard, but then doing it by coding seems a level beyond.
Yeah, no, that's got to take some skill. I'm impressed by that. I don't know how.
How you're impressed?
How am I impressed? It sounds good.
yeah.
you know, come to think of it, is the simplest answer.
And see, you'll get many different types of reels on the Reels of Ruin. You'll get some weird, you'll get some cool ones, and we're gonna find out.
Can we have the weird ones? But okay,
well,
that link just doesn't work.
Does it not?
Oh, does it?
Oh
No,
shit! They must have been so crazy that they got removed.
It says the page isn't available.
That's why I'm with the first
the
link.
Wackiest reel of the lot.
Oh, I bet we're missing out on some great reels. That's really annoying. Oh well, we got the next one instead then.
Yeah.
And we'll hope for the best with this one.
Oh, this is Red Bull. There's a Red Bull bit in his reel.
Oh yeah, this one's working.
All right. We're gonna press.
Hell
play.
yeah, our sponsor.
We're gonna press play on 1 in 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3.
Oh, she counted us down as well.
Oh, I love
That's
this.
Well,
nice.
thank you for our sponsor.
This is
I
the
only
most
bought,
Red Bull
Riders
thing I've
Republic.
ever
The
seen.
gameplay looked like this.
Does anyone else remember when Ubisoft made Steep?
Yeah, I used to love Steam.
Oh,
I used to
yeah.
play it quite a lot. I got it for free.
Yeah. This is like that, but with less snow.
Yeah. He must have a headache after this.
It's probably fine, he's used to it.
Going down all those steps though.
He's probably
Imagine
used
if
to
you
it.
were like
you know.
half asleep.
What?
That'll wake
he
you
must,
up.
He must have had to have the best sleep of his life before this.
Oh, I'm sure he's had a few
And
Red
after.
Bulls.
He's just absolutely wired.
Yeah, gotta be.
This isn't even a racetrack. He's just decided to do this.
Yeah.
It isn't a racetrack, it's just the streets of some, like, highly layered town.
Ooh.
It's impressively done.
There
God,
are many
imagine-
points here where I would not have done it.
There are many points here where there are Red Bull logos, randomly.
And there are many points where I would have definitely turned the wrong way and gone straight into a wall.
I'd imagine he's probably familiarised himself with the route
Oh,
before
yeah.
he did a bit full steam ahead run of it.
Gotta be, yeah.
There's something satisfying about watching a cyclist beat it down a staircase.
Yeah. A lot of whistling going on.
Yep.
Hey, there he is.
Boom.
Mate, his adrenaline
Still
must
going.
be going. Yeah.
There probably has been a point in this where his adrenaline has gone.
Yeah. I can hear it.
What happens to your adrenaline when you get used to it, you know?
Yeah, everything gets boring.
This is pedestrian to him.
Yeah.
This is his commute.
This is how my grandparents used to get to school.
Accurate representation
Yeah.
of how my grandfather got to school.
Yeah.
I had to walk 43 miles in the snow with bare feet. Wearing a rucksack full of rocks. Wow. Okay, that was some insane cycling.
Mm-hmm. And bear in mind,
he's a bicycler.
Bear in mind, I don't remember what's what until we click on it because I made this list of links a while back. Oh yeah, this next one's great.
You hang on. You just scroll through Instagram and find them.
Yeah, when I see something, you
have like
great,
a list 56 million reels long, and you just
what I do
go
is
down them one by one.
I have an old like private account that I used to like post memes on and stuff. So I just send it to that account. So I've got like a DM to myself with all the videos that I want to save.
All right,
that's how I do it.
Fair enough.
All right, guys, we're gonna click the link to the next one on 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Is he trying to push these guys into the track?
I think it's like a win-win situation. They get pushed into the track and he gets a bit of fun, you know?
Wow. That is a very busy train.
Yeah. Would you go on that train?
No.
What if you had to go?
Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video.
It's on the inside, maybe. But the problem is not many of them are.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think they're on the roof because they can't get in.
Yeah, they're on the roof because there's no more space inside the train.
And that's why the guy
the comments are crazy.
Probably racist.
I don't think I can read these.
No, I don't think so.
This is how overpopulated certain parts of the world are. You know, where the infrastructure just can't keep up with the people, and that's what you're seeing there. It's a very sad reality.
It is. I don't think anyone should have to deal with that on their commute. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
But it was funny as well.
Yeah, someone said also I volunteered to get on last. And then someone's replied saying, more like second to last, am I right?
Because the guy just humping his mate. oh god. That interesting choice of reel, it must be said.
Well, that's what you get on the Reels of Ruin. You get interesting choices.
So we've gone from a train somewhere, presumably in India, to a chiropractor.
Yep, and we're gonna click play on 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
You can see him just getting taller.
I love
just trying to make him taller?
Is this torture?
Is this
like,
he sounds like
confess.
Whirring up and powering down.
I think he likes
the whirring up is the voice.
I think it's some kind of fetish.
This is the stretching rack thing from like.
Someone said this fell behind my bed frame and I had to listen to it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, valid. Oh dear.
Any closing thoughts on that one before we move on to our next?
What an interesting way to fix yourself. You know. I don't know what's helping him more there, the chiropractor or the moaning.
Or the pleasure.
He's getting pleasure out of that. Have you seen how much his back extends?
Yeah, I wonder what happens when he gets taken out of the apparatus. Does he just flop to the floor?
Yeah, the falls over or he's like 4 inches taller.
Oh my god.
His t-shirt no longer fits him. You know, that's how I choose to believe. He's probably had an interesting walk home either way.
Yeah.
It doesn't strike me as the kind of man who
readjusting to being in the clouds.
All of those. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's just readjusting to his newfound height.
Thank you everybody for watching this episode of The Podyssey. If you want to check out Ethan's channel, you can find here.
You want me to do that? Oh, right, sorry. Yeah, you can find me at youtube.com/c/fishy, spell FIZHY because I'm pretentious. Otherwise, you can find me on X if you really want to look for it, but please don't.
And with those words out of the way, I think we need to ask the guests once again to do our famous outro catchphrase.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Right. Buckle up, boys. It's going to be a good one. This has been a Podyssey I won't soon forget.
Is that Bane?
Is that right? Yeah. No. It was just me clasping my hands. Did it sound good?